What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, January 19th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A middling day. Started off nice. Cashed that first half over in the Knicks game. Cashed the Wolves team total over. And then it's the second time in over a week where the Warriors have looked really bad. And I haven't, for whatever reason, expected them to bounce back. It was national television. We had nut flush all over them. It was a mistake. Overall, last night, 4-4 down 0.11 units. Cashed the Canucks at plus 125. You know, I was shitting my pants, really, watching NHL last night. I was very concerned. A great call by Dennis Garcia, believing in Michael Hauser. It's incredible. You know, one thing that does happen, which is a mistake that I don't usually make, is when these Michael Hauser's a 29-year-old, when these older guys get this opportunity, it seems like they handle it with aplomb. It's the younger guys, the Caden Primos, that get these opportunities and seem to get lit up. But Hauser was excellent. And Dennis Garcia was right. Also, I did want to make one thing clear, my rant on the Flames, and they stepped up in a big way like they were listening. Look, the Vancouver Canucks are a horrifyingly terrible franchise. And being a fan of them has brought almost all pain to the Canucks fans' lives. So when I was shitting all over the Flames, because of my hatred towards them, I wasn't sitting here in my high chair saying the Canucks are the model franchise. We're fucking terrible, and we've been terrible forever, except for short little bursts. One in the Pat Quinn era, and then one with the Sedins going to Stanley Cup Finals. So let me just make that clear: the Flames have been a much more successful franchise than the Canucks, and I wasn't really. I was just angry. That is all. Great to see all you guys. I'm getting close to 100%. Still coughing, getting close to 100%. I can't wait to hammer today's action. We have 3 games in NHL. I've already made one bet. Saw Birdie lock in the same actions. That made me feel good. Just one bet, although I have some interest in some other stuff. Then I've already made 4 bets in NBA. I already fired away at NBA, and I would like to be doing more of that. The big thing going on right now in the show is Maxwell Smart is hot. Coming off a 5-1 plus 3.97 unit day. Since I've come back from COVID, 3 shows, he is 12-4. 12-4. Dennis Garcia says, I hope we're starting with the NHL. So much to discuss. You were excellent. And then it says Ottawa laying minus 200. I got them at minus 165, but I hear you. Carolina was playing bad narrative. I told you that was just false. They'd lost 2 of their last 3 games. That's facts. Fade Nashville is a beautiful thing. Yes. Calgary D shuts down the league's best O. And Dallas Rats lost to Montreal. Yes. The Stars should not be backed without Robertson. He's just he's this. I think Pavelski's extremely important, but he's clearly the straw that stirs the drink, and that line needs to be going because you can't trust Seguin and Ben to do shit ass anything. But Dennis, you're a great capper. We love capping with you, and you were right about a lot yesterday, and I'm happy. It makes me happy. Top Shelf says, why would you ever trust the Senators over minus 200? I mean, they completely outplayed the Sabres, and again, we got in at minus 165, but. Look, my NHL is not going very well. And that's the only thing that we can promise you here on the show is honesty and transparency, regardless of how upsetting and embarrassing that can be at times. Viper in the house. There's Tasha. Great to see you. Rant says, hate NBA, but Cavs look good. Bulls missing players. Marco Lou says, hit the Knicks plus 3, but missed the under 215 and hit the under in Golden State Pistons game, but missed the Pistons plus 15.5. Yeah, it was tricky. Sammy Culmer making moves here. He's on Brentford and Man United over 2.5. Cavs first quarter money line. Raps plus 4.5 and Nuggets minus 7.5. Let me copy and paste that. I would like to have everything up in Adam, so let me do this here quickly. Make sure this is up. Okay. There we go. And then let's move the chat over. And it was interesting. I don't think Dennis had my best interests when he said, "You hate the Flames so much. Why don't you bet the Panthers?" And we talked about the Panthers road record. I think you were messing with me. I think you were trying to mess with me. I didn't make that mistake. Thankfully, we've seen what the Panthers have done on the road. There's Wesley Costas with a $10 dono. What a guy. Thank you, Wesley, my man. Thank you for your support. It's enormously important. We love working for Pub Sports Radio. We can't wait to party with everybody in San Antonio. So the way I see San Antonio, by the way, and I need just a final confirmation from Slaughter, but the way I see it is it's going to start that weekend of March 18th, 19th, 20th. The biggest weekend will be the 25th, 26th, 27th. DJ Big Boss already has flights to San Antonio for those dates. And then there is another weekend of the 1st, 2nd. I hope to be there. I expect to be there all 3 of those weekends. So that is the plan at this point. And I expect it to roll. And I'm not going to leave the house, basically. I'm not going to leave the house until San Antonio. So those are Sammy Culmer's looks. Let me just copy and paste them so that we can talk all about them. Here we go. Mark Schellenberg said, should have taken the day off. I'll blame getting totally washed yesterday on being sick. Couldn't focus. We'll get it. There's Guillermo Zertucci, fresh off his first ever NHL hockey game. And it was a wild one. 3-3 going into the 3rd period. And then the Lightning took over. Why can't I find? It didn't seem. I don't. Can you pop that into the chat one more? Oh, there it is, Sammy. Sorry, I got it right here. Okay, thank you. Let's pop that right over the NBA breakdowns. I'm looking forward. We got It's Durrell joining us for this huge NBA card. NCAA is going to be second right after NHL, though. So get in your spots here. Henry Dice said, whoever played Senators, not good bettors at all. Okay, Henry Dice, you can blow me. All right. Did you play the Canucks at plus 125, Henry Dice? I profited in NHL last night with being such a shitty bettor. Not good bettors at all. You can just fucking drink a pint glass of my sperm. I'll set it up real nice for you. Pop it in the microwave. And just sort of pour it over your face.
At least you didn't bet the Bruins.
Thank you. There was a lot of spots that could really hurt you yesterday. Spreadsheet is Colorado in regulation. The Ducks are dealing with a ton of issues right now, which makes the Avalanche seem quite appealing. I can understand that look. Max says, worse being a Maple Leafs fan. I don't know if it's been rough. Oh, and the spreadsheet play today is the Grizzlies plus 6.5. Dan Kelly, great to see you, my man. So let me just get the spreadsheet play today up over that very, very exciting Memphis Grizzlies game. Let's move over here. Memphis Grizzlies, Milwaukee Bucks. There it is. All right. Okay, and there's Slatsy says Nashville going back to being a fade. I watched that game. They're not a good hockey team. Tampa 10th win in a row in LA. Historical trends matter now 3-0 and Rangers tonight. Yes, I'm on the Rangers too as well. There's Jay Rowe in the house. Turnsey goal first 10 in Calgary, Capitals, Nucks, and watching the Buffalo game hit them first period 3-way money line plus 280. Absolutely great work. Turnsey. Mark Schillingberg says I hear you, Max. I'd like to hear you break down Pitt plus 3.5, Virginia minus versus Virginia, and Lehigh versus Navy, and the total there. Maxwell Smart giving love to our Dennis Garcia. He's a more than just an NHL savant. He's a great capper, and he's a lot of fun to work with. There's Johnny Schwartz in the house. We haven't seen you in a long time. Nut Flush Allen cashing that Canes team total over. That was a thing of absolute beauty. There is Vaughn Polo says from Baltimore to San Antonio. Can't wait to book. Man, we're going to have so much fun. Dude, we're going to have so much fun. So much fun. We're going to see a ton of different events. Vaughn Polo says, what day are you going to San Antonio? For sure, I want to come when you go. Well, I can tell you that I think the biggest weekend is going to be that 25th to 27th weekend. That's what I'm trying to put together. But I should be there over the 3 weekends, and we should be booking the flights really soon. So I'll let you guys all know. I can't wait.
March Madness that weekend too.
Oh, say what?
March Madness that weekend too.
Yeah.
Elite 8 and Sweet 16 games in San Antonio.
Oh, it's going to be spectacular. Sorry, Henry Dice said I was just quoting that Top Shelf guy. Okay. Thank you, Henry Dice. Sorry. Look, Tyrone Coleman says, I'm here to get, I hear I got second COVID-19 shot yesterday. I'm weak as hell, but 2 didn't. Let's roll, Tyrone. Sorry, Henry Dice. Look, I'm struggling in NHL, and it's supposed to be my bread and butter, and it hurts. It makes me very angry, and I emote. I fucking emote. Also, I've been outside for a few minutes over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's a battle. This is the first day that Ella can go to in-school learning, so that makes me a little more comfortable. But I'm on edge. I'm on fucking edge right now, and I apologize, Henry. I apologize. You beat a market move by 55 cents. You feel good about yourself. Look, that was a mistake. You put 45, 46 shots on an ECHL goaltender. Look, you feel good about yourself. And I did not in the end. Okay, I did not. John Schwartz says, how's your Pigeon Ledge situation? We need updates. It's full of snow. So there's no pigeon fuck show going on right now. But it's just so gross out there. Just, pigeon shit and pigeon semen all over the place. It's a good thing I don't have a black light. That shit would blow up like the planetarium, Let's focus on capping and not how horrifying my life is right now. And but you know what I'm doing, and I've been doing, and I was doing when I was sick with COVID, was I was thinking about San Antonio. That is what I was doing. Thinking about San Antonio, partying with everybody, hanging with everybody, capping with everybody, making money with everybody. That's what I was thinking about. There he is, right there.
Right here, with this face right here. This
Yes.
you're going to be capping with right here. Just remember that.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's get to work. There's Birdie in the house. Marco Lewis says, NHL, the books are shortchanging how great the Rangers have been playing. I think you get Rangers plus 30 against the Leafs. I will take that. I got plus 135. Thompson says, Pigeons are in South Florida. Look, yeah, maybe they are. But they've turned my balcony into their own whorehouse, and it sucks. All right, let's focus. Let's just focus. Let's stay focused here, and let's roll. Taint with another casher. Shout out to Matty Ice. He's fighting COVID right now. Great job on Butler. UConn over 125. It was an easy over. Also in that spot, it was 4-2, 5 minutes in. I was going, oh, fuck, Matty. And then they came together. There's Brian Watson, Keegan Lamont, Sammy Comer, Jared TJ, top set. Let's get to work here and roll. The only other important thing is Maxey and how strong he was, but we'll get into that in a little bit. All right, let's get to work. We start in NHL, 7 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Coyotes at the New Jersey Devils. Let's move this over and get over to NHL. And here we go. This total opened up at 6 at minus 114 at Pinnacle. There's been no movement there. And the money line opened up with New Jersey minus 193. They're now at minus 182 at Pinnacle. And look, I get that market move towards the Coyotes. I really do. Coyotes 9-24-4, 4-11-3 on the road. Devils 14-18-5, 9-7-3 at home. We're at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Scott Wedgwood was listed as a goaltender, but he's still in protocol. So I'm not sure if he's going to be available. Does that mean Vejmelka is going to be available? Vejmelka, I think, is their best goaltender, but we saw what Prosvetov did against the Avalanche in that first game of that back-to-back against them. Mackenzie Blackwood not playing good hockey right now. 9-8-3, 3.24 goals against average, 898 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Arizona's power play at 12.9%. It's weak. That's the only thing they should have an okay thing going on is their power play with Keller and Kessel and Gostisbehere. They don't have that center, which is so crucial on a power play unit. Devils 14.7% power play. It's shocking. I'll go over a couple more of those numbers in a second. 81.3% penalty killing. The Coyotes are playing their most competitive hockey of the season, coming off a 5-2 win at home over Montreal on Monday night. Galchenyuk has returned from injury and played atrocious. He's not long for the NHL. And when these guys full of skill can't produce in the NHL, don't have the work ethic to produce in the NHL, I have no compassion for them whatsoever. I know so many people who would dream of being in Galchenyuk's spot. He played with the Habs, partied all night, was supposedly one of the reasons why Price got into the difficulties that he's in. 0 goals, 4 assists in 17 games played. He's a -8. What a bum. Coyotes are dealing with COVID and injuries. So that's why I can't do it. I can't back them here. Although I think they're an interesting look, and I'm interested in watching the game. So Wedgwood, 9 days ago, Wedgwood went on the COVID-19 protocol with Chikrin, who's been hurt, Cam Dineen, Antoine Stallman, and Kyle Capoblanco. That's 4 defensemen right there, in Chikrin, Dineen, Stallman, and Capoblanco. Their head coach, Trigny, is on the COVID protocol. So is their goaltending coach, Corey Schwab, ex-Canuck, ex-Canadian national team player. Antoine Roussel was added on Monday. Who's going to come back for this game? We don't know yet, but they have injuries too. Left winger Barrett Hayton and center Jay Beagle are also hurt. Not Flush says Devils team total over is 3.5 at even money. Dennis Garcia says pass. Turnsey says Yotes money line. There's Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast, says Coyotes are putting up a fight. And there's Williams Wrestling in house. Great to see you. And Turnsey said the only thing Galchenyuk brought to hockey was the curve on a stick. I bought 20 of them before CCM dropped them. I didn't know anything about that. Willie the Lump says both teams to score first period. Devils coming off their second straight loss, 3-2 at the Islanders last Thursday. I initially was like, I want to fade the Coyotes. But I looked at this Devils roster and I was like, can I do it with this Devils team? I like that they brought Sharon Govich up to the first line to play on the wing with Hughes and not using him as a third line center. I think he's a good player, but I don't know what to do with this Devils team. So they last lost 3-2 to the Islanders last Thursday. So they've been off for a while and not for any reason based on them. Their last 2 scheduled games were part of this Canadian schedule. And the Canadian games, if they're not on a Wednesday or Saturday night for TV purposes, they're all being canceled because we need the gate up here. Our TV contracts are just not enough. We need cash coming into these teams. They're fully clear of COVID issues. So we were wanting to bet on this team once they were fully clear of COVID issues, and I can't do it. Dougie Hamilton out indefinitely with a jaw injury. Jack Hughes, 9 goals. I'll tell you why. This is why. Jack Hughes has 9 goals, 11 assists. 20 points in 20 games played, but he has just 3 power play points. This spectacular offensive player has 3 power play points in 20 games. Jesper Bratt leads the way with 32 points, 34 games played. He's a +5. He's been exceptional. Nico Hischier needs to give them more. 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points in 31 games, and he just has 4 power play points. Von Polo, we're trying to hook up a hotel where we get it for cheap or free. So we are working on that, and that's a key part. We want to give you guys, a real nice opportunity to enjoy yourself and not have to put out cash. So we're working on that right now. Clint says 2 young teams, Coyotes missing defensemen. I feel like we could see goals. And this is a big thing that I've done, is that when you're missing these key defensemen, it doesn't create worse defensive situations as much as it creates less offensive opportunities. Outlet passes aren't around. The defensemen that are going to play 25 or 30 minutes, they don't pinch. So I think it's a little different. There's Brant Hunt in the house. Great to see you, Brant Hunt, my guy. Okay, so Step Brosco, oh God, it was very, very, very tough to watch. Oh no, Michael Irvelina, I'm in Vegas. That's locked in. My family's ready for that. San Antonio is going to be a little different because I'm not going to be with my family. So San Antonio is going to be a little different. But Vegas, we're testing something out. I would like to live in Vegas, so it's a little test. We're gonna go down for over a month, shoot down there, fuck around down there, and see if we can.
Oh. Maybe you'll see your friendly neighborhood producer in Vegas.
Okay. All right. I hope we get a ton of people down there. He's using that too loosely now, man. With all that being said, until the Devils show us they can score on the power play, I just can't back them. So let's move on. People are getting pissed off. There's my guy TJ in the house. That guy's breaking news really shit in the bed lately. He's got to step up his game. Deacon says no family with you in San Antonio. Should we start collecting bail now? I am 42, and all I want to do is hang out with my friends and drink heavily and play ping pong and poker and gamble on sports. That's it. That's all I want to do. So, all right, let's move on to the only move I have made. I did bet the New York Rangers at plus 135. I did think, is money going to keep coming in on Toronto as per usual? This was plus 140 last night, went to plus 135. That was at bet 365. We're at Madison Square Garden, New York. 24-9-3 are the Leafs, 10-5-2 on the road. Rangers 25-10-4, 10-3-2 at home. Jack Campbell has been very, very good this year. 19-5-3, 2.13 goals against average, 931 save percentage, 4 shutouts. Not as good as Shesty. Igor Shesterkin, 17-4-2, 1.99 goals against average, 939 save percentage. A daily dose of kale. I will not say, I'm staying in. You guys go. I would not say that. But for me personally, I just want to sit at Southtown 101 at Slaughter's Bar and just hang with my best friends and drink all night. That's what I would prefer to do. Gamble, watch sports, and just and then we're going to be going to games. You know, that would be that's my preference on that. Look, I'm 42. That's what I like to do. Okay. And Birdie says,
Jimmy, I know where to take you, Jimmy. Don't worry. I know where to take you. I'll take you to some spine places. We'll go to Sugars. We'll go to All Stars. We'll go. Don't worry, Jimmy. I got you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. At least that wasn't breaking news. Toronto power play 29.7%, penalty killing 83.2%. Rangers power play 23.2%, penalty killing 85.6%. Leafs bounce back from their 2-1 loss at Arizona by beating the Blues in St. Louis 6-5 on Saturday night. The reason I'm making this bet is because they lost Jake Muzzin to a concussion. He's a very important player on this hockey team. He plays 21 minutes and 21 seconds a game. It's a big loss. 1 goal, 10 assists, 11 points, 35 games played. And they're dealing with COVID issues. Defenseman Justin Hall, left winger Nick Ritchie, who they tried to abandon, but nobody would take him off their hands, and Andre Cachet are all out with COVID. Austin. So with Muzzin out, how's that going to change Morgan Riley's game? God, has he been good this year? 4 goals, 27 assists, 31 points in 36 games. He's a plus 16. He's been so good. With Muzzin not in the lineup, is he going to pinch less? He's going to know he's going to play a ton of minutes here. He's been so good this year. Big shout out to Morgan Riley. Been very impressed with his play. Austin Matthews been excellent. 33 games played, 25 goals, 15 assists, 40 points, plus 5. He has 9 power play goals and 7 power play assists. And I bring that up because there are some interesting parts of this Leaf squad. William Nylander, 16 goals, 20 assists, 36 points in 36 games played. He's a plus 7. Johnny Tavares, 15 goals, 20 assists, 35 points, 35 games played. He's a plus 7. He's been better than I expected as well. It's Alex Kerfoot. Do you know that he leads the Maple Leafs in 5-on-5 points? I mean, that is unbelievably impressive. Alex Kerfoot is not getting enough love. He's been so good this year. 6 goals, 20 assists, 26 points in 36 games, and no power play points. And he's a plus 18, which leads the team. He's been very, very, very good. Rangers coming off their second straight win, 3-2 at Philadelphia on Saturday night. Alexis Lafreniere out with COVID, but they're a healthy group. Adam Fox having another Norris-type season, 5 goals, 34 assists, 39 points in 39 games played. He's a plus 12. Panarin playing well as always. 10 goals, 28 assists, 38 points in 34 games played. He's a plus 3. Chris Kreider is stepping up in a huge way. 24 goals Kreider has, earning that big contract. 24 goals, 11 assists, 35 points in 39 games. He's a plus 6. And Zibanejad, 14 goals, 21 assists, 35 points, 39 games played, and a plus 7. Zibanejad is a hell of a hockey player. The Senators should never have let him go. Iranian father and Scottish or Swiss mother, Scottish mother. I think it's a Scottish mother. Iranian father, I think. I'm not exactly, I can't remember now. Okay, let's keep rolling. That is my look. I'm backing the Rangers at plus 135. I like the spot. Henry Dice says Leafs tend to trend over first period, but Rangers are an under team. Slatsy says, does Matthew score tonight? Boob. We got Boob. That reminds me of my favorite horse when I was young, very young. When I was like 10 at Hastings, it was called What a Boob. It was my favorite horse. Says, how many sites do you currently bet on? Currently, I'm using my local, who is credit, and it's 25% in and out every Friday, and it allows me to bet out of my tax bracket. But I have accounts at Pinnacle, at Bet365. Those are my 2 accounts right now. Okay, so let's roll. I am on the Rangers, plus 135. There's big show picks in the house. North Ender is Morgan Riley over 2.5 shots on goal at minus 120. All right, let's move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. We have Colorado Avalanche 25-8-3, 9-6-2 on the road to Anaheim Ducks 19-15-7, 12-6-4. There's Tom and Tom Racing in the house. Thanks for joining us, Tom. Truth teller ready to rock and roll. There's Dutch Boy Fresh, who will be on our show tomorrow. Currently up 7.17 units on our show. He's been spectacular. Okay. Avalanche, Ducks, Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Pavel Francouz, 4-1, 2.94 goals against. And there he is, razor sharp picks. Birth of his son yesterday. Bryson was born 8 pounds, 9 ounces. And there he is, the proud father. Rudy Zemansky, I would never, ever turn a dog into a giant favorite. It's not how I bet. If you find success that way, then go forth. But that would turn the Rangers into a huge, huge favorite. And I would never and will never do that. But let's go back to Razor. Razor Bryson, what a good-looking kid. Congratulations to you and your family, man. It was so wonderful to see the pick. Razor with child number 2. What a good-looking family. What a good-looking family. Okay, let's go back to this spot. So clearly, Joe Sakic, well, I shouldn't say clearly. I think that Joe Sakic wants Francouz to be the number 1 goaltender. That's why he didn't panic when Kemper was playing bad. We thought there might be a trade for Marc-Andre Fleury. The Avalanche are now plus 475 to win the Cup. The Tampa Bay Lightning are plus 700. I expect to make a move on the Lightning today at plus 700. Look, I know that division is very tough with the Panthers and the Leafs and the Bruins. But I think that I would confidently say that we'll never get a plus 7. It'll go down from here on in for the rest of the year, that plus 700. All right, John Gibson, 12.96, 2.64, goals against average, 917 save percentage. It's going to be very interesting who comes back from COVID issues for the Ducks. Gibson's been on the COVID list as well, and he's listed as goalie, so it looks like he's coming back. Colorado power play at 23.6%, penalty killing 74.1%. Anaheim has better special teams. Rudy Zemansky, I understand what the Rangers plus 2 is, but you're turning. Let's just for we got to get into college basketball, but just for your sake, let's just figure out what that would be. So the Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 180. And then you'd have to do the plus 2.5 to build your plus 2. So the Rangers plus 2.5 is minus 400. So you are turning a dog into a minus 224 favorite. So just to take that a little bit further, if you are going to bet minus 220, oh God, my calculator's not up here. Really, you're not gonna let me do this? Let me just see if I can get into this, my tools page. Okay, yes, I can. So just to take that a little bit further, if you are going to bet minus 224s, then your implied probability is 69.14% of the time, and you have to hit 7 out of 10. It's just very, 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 very dangerous. And I don't bet like that. But if you find success like that, Rudy, take it to the bank. The Avs coming off their 3rd straight win, 4-3 at home over Minnesota on Monday night. Nazem Kadri somehow is not, well, it looks like he might be the last man in, but he's on the pace for 130 points. Listen to that, Leafs fans. 14 goals, 35 assists, 49 points, 33 games played. He's a plus 14. Mikko Rantanen is a plus 21 right now. Can you believe he's that much better 5-on-5 than, well, better isn't the right word, but Nathan McKinnon is a plus 3. And Mikko Rantanen is a plus 21. 20 goals, 26 assists, 46 points. McKinnon, 9 goals, 31 assists, 40 points in 26 games played. This team is just loaded for bear. Cale Makar, 16 goals, 21 assists, 37 points, plus 19 in 32 games. That's your defenseman. I mean, we're talking Paul Coffey numbers now. Gabe Landeskog, 14 goals, 23 assists, 37 points in 28 games played. Devin Taves, I've been talking about him all year. I talked about him while he was injured. Said, wait till this guy comes back. He's now a plus 30 in 25 games. 7 goals, 19 assists, 26 points. Yes, Rudy, I'm betting plus 135. Rangers on the money line. And when we go back to the implied probability there, the Rangers at home with an implied probability at 42.55% of the time against the Leafs team missing Jacob Muzzin. That is a bet I want to make. That is a bet that I want to make. Kemper out with an upper body injury. They're dealing with injuries. Ryan Murray dealing with upper body injury, but they're so stocked defensively. Darren Helm out with a lower body injury. They have so much depth at forward. It's fine. Bowen Byram dealing with concussions. It breaks my heart because I love the kid, Vancouver Giant, 4th overall pick. I'm a huge fan of his. And now they're saying personal reasons as he's out. It's my heart breaks for the kid getting the opportunity to play in the NHL now, dealing with concussion issues. Valery Nishushkin has been added to the COVID list, but that's the only guy on the COVID list. Ducks come in after suffering their 3rd straight loss, 3-0 at the Blackhawks on Saturday night. And Anaheim, listen to this. So this is the tricky thing about the Anaheim situation. I do not expect all these guys to be out of the lineup with COVID because they're back home, and I think some of these guys will be back. And if they're all out of the lineup, Avalanche will run a train on them. Defenseman Simon Benoit, Cam Fowler, and Josh Manson are out with COVID. Right winger Troy Terry, their leading scorer. Both Stolars and Gibson are all out with COVID. Sonny Milano has a hand injury. Adam Henrique remains out with a lower body injury. I get it. I looked at Colorado on the -1.5 line, and I get it. But I want to know who's back for Anaheim because you're going to get a much better number. Okay, there you go. There you go. That is NHL. Only one move for me. I didn't talk myself into adding anything. I'm just on the Rangers money line at plus 135. Rangers money line at plus 135. Another shout out to Wesley Costas for your support, my man. Let me just get up here. Sorry, I fell behind on the comments here. We're going to move into NCAA basketball. And John Schwartz is running trains. Should be breaking news. Dennis Garcia says, I so want to take Anaheim. That's an interesting thing, Dennis. If you want to take Anaheim, you got to do it now. My expectation is they're going to get a bunch of players back, and this should move at least 30 cents in the Ducks' direction. But we see what happens in Avalanche games, and they just keep getting bet on. So my expectation is the Ducks get Manson back, Fowler back, and others back, Terry back, and it's plus 185 at puck drop. Michael Irvine already saying Terry and Gibson are back tonight. Brady saying the under 5.5. There's Nick Schnizzle in the house. Great to see you. Markel says thoughts on total for the Rangers game. If I had a free play on this spot, I would take the under. I do not want to bet unders with the Toronto Maple Leafs involved. And no Muzzin. But I know that Birdie's on that under. Oh, and Birdie is on the under 5.5 in the Leafs game. Okay. And I know he's already on the under 5.5 in the Rangers game as well. So, okay, let's move on to college basketball and bring in our college basketball expert. Man, is this guy catching fire when we need him to? I'm absolutely loving what he's doing. Last night, Wisconsin first half -1, cash. Wisconsin full game -2.5, cash. He was asked by Pete, what do you feel? How do you feel when the market's moving against you? He said, I trust my numbers. And he cashed these so easily. Fresno State -2.5 cash. Remember, we talked about that being the degenerate special, and Fresno pulled away late in very impressive fashion. Iowa State +8 did not come through. Missed that by a few points. Michigan -6.5 was so easy. And then he starts our day with the winner with the under in St. Peter's Canisius under 134.5. Another spot where the market moved against him. Did he show any fear? Absolutely no fear. Yes, Latsy, tonight is our NFL Pub Hub show. Low Shack's on it. Let me just give you guys a list of who is on the show tonight. Bebenek, Alex Pavone, Peter Loshak, Jacksonville Zoe, Brizzy, Noli Nose, and Ski Profits. We got a great group here. Great group. All right, so let's move on. So just one more thing about Max, what he did for us yesterday from a gambling perspective. And this is, I often used to say when I would go to the horse track, if I could win the first race and win the last race, I'd be happy because I start off fucking rolling and then I go home feeling good about myself and I could lose all the races in between. And that's what Max did for us. He cashed us that under at 2:00 for St. Peter's Canisius, and then he cashed us the Fresno State under. He booked end W's. He's 12-4 on his last 3 shows since I've been back from COVID. And this year, he's 73-67, hitting at 52.1% plus 3.79 units. And he's coming off a huge day. I'm very impressed. And when you look at the amount of action that Max puts out every day, to be sitting here with a 2.71 ROI, extremely impressive. Please welcome to the show the Cupcake King, Maxwell Smart. Maxie, how are you?
I'm all right, Jim. It's another day in the life of a degenerate freaking man-child who has an obsession with a stripper named Mandy. Last night was another fantastic night for me. I destroyed Gus's live board. I destroyed the added board. The Ace Sun is one of my favorite conferences to bet on, and I hit a fucking plus 250 first half money line with Central Arkansas, so I was very proud of that. And listen, I'm just trying to fuck with my eyes open, doing it every day that I'm fucking on this earth, and trying to help other people learn how to fuck with their eyes open, teaching their families, their children, their leaders of community. So I think that it's really good that I had a nice day, Jim, but let's not beat around the bush. All right. I've had some pretty bad days also.
Look, it's a roller coaster ride.
Yes.
And the fact that you are plus units overall on the entire ride that you've given us is the most important fact to me. And you're running hot right now. And I absolutely love it. Let's get right to work, Max. Games are coming in. First off, our guy Jay Peasy, ready to rock and roll. Jay Peasy looking at Rutgers, Iowa. And move over here and find it. There is a ton of games here. Rutgers opening up as 2.5-point dogs at Pinnacle. I'll be using Pinnacle openers. Max will give us the books that are first to the table, but I'll just be giving Pinnacle openers. Rutgers opening up at plus 2.5 is now at plus 3.5. This total sitting at 151 with very little movement. Couple books have dropped it a half point to 150.5. Max, let's get rolling. Iowa Rutgers.
Yeah, I think that this Rutgers team is definitely in for a fight tonight because while they've been playing at home against a lot of competition in this conference and having their way, Iowa's the one team that they really haven't been able to get over the schneid against. I think it's a very important game to focus on not really what the teams are doing against each other, but what number you're getting. I think that this is a number that when it opened at 2.5 for Iowa, it had more value to me. And it's crazy how a whole point can really sway me that much. But when it comes to these Rutgers Iowa games over the last couple years, especially at the rack, it is a tight ass clench game to the end. And I think that Rutgers is going to have to score points in order to keep this game close. They're not going to be able to draw Iowa into a rock fight. I think with Keegan and Chris Murray, yeah, you have a very nice foundation right there, but you have experienced guards all the way through this lineup. It's a tough game for me to bet on from a side perspective, but with the Josh Applebaum 150 rule, I thought that this was a game that I would look for an under full game and a first half over.
Ooh, wow. All right. And Max will let us know if he's making anything official. Again, hitting 12 of his last 16. That's Rutgers, Iowa. We move on to our guy, Cab, who is a must-follow on Twitter, putting out nonstop action. One of those guys who's just about the greater good here. I'm going to put his Twitter handle in the chat when Max starts rolling. Max, Cab is looking at this big LSU game. LSU, Bama, your Crimson Tide in action here. LSU, Bama, let me find this here. 13th ranked LSU opening up as 2.5-point dogs, now 4-point dogs. 1.5 move towards Bama, but this total is skyrocketing up from 145.5 at Pinnacle now to 149. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, I think that with this matchup, obviously Alabama is reeling, and LSU finally freaking got that second loss of the season. You know, I was worried about when it was going to come, and it did surprisingly come at home versus Arkansas. That definitely gave me a lot of trouble because they're not going to have the services of Xavier Pinson again tonight. And I think that in this matchup with a guard-heavy Alabama team who doesn't take mid-range jumpers, is on a 2-game losing streak, is back home, and definitely has the better coach, in my opinion. I think that Alabama, as long as they can avoid succumbing to LSU's very dominant full court press, I think that first half, it's the way that I want to look at it. Alabama in the first half, that's the way that I think has the best value for me in my eyes. With LSU, yes, I think that full game, they could end up covering that number, and I probably wait to see how high it goes. I just think that with LSU, sometimes they don't get off and score the basketball enough. And against this high tempo Alabama offense, you're going to be able to need to drill 10 threes. You're going to be able to need to get to the free throw line and make 15 free throw makes. And that is where I worry about LSU early. I think that Will Wade does very good halftime adjustments. So if they're down, I do think that they can come back. But the first half with Alabama screamed value to me.
Next up for Max, TCU. Oklahoma State has been asked for our man Cab. I did put Cab's Twitter handle in the chat. Oklahoma State opening up at -5. This total opening up at 130.5 and it shot up to 132.5, Max.
Yeah, for me, this is a spot where it's all about what you can get out of Charles O'Bannon and Emmanuel Miller. We know that Mike Miles has literal ice in his veins. He is a killer shot maker, and he's going to need a successful and contributing supporting cast to go into Oklahoma State and have a chance tonight. I like the depth that Jamie Dixon has at his disposal when you're talking about Francis Farabello, when you're talking about Xavier Cork, when you're talking about Micah Peavy. I think that they have the talent to be able to stay within this game, but the only way that I can look at it is Oklahoma State first half. With Oklahoma State, I'm just waiting for Avery Anderson to really take that next step forward in his development, and that's what we really need. He's a guy that's capable of getting really hot from the three-point line. In a game like this, he's going to have to carry this offense because once again, like I said at the beginning of the season, Oklahoma State's biggest problem was going to be who was going to be the alpha scorer. And right now, even with Bryce Williams out and possibly not playing again tonight, it is more and more on Anderson's shoulders. I think that he steps up, and I want to watch this game, and that's why I think Oklahoma State at 2.5 or 3 as a first half favorite is a decent way to play it.
Next up, Max. Oh, by the way, Nate Togg also liking Oklahoma State full game. Marco Liu, we'll let Marco Liu lead us into this game because his next one, Cabby wanted to talk about Georgia Tech versus Wake Forest. By the way, Birdie is on the over 131 in that OK State game. Georgia Tech versus Wake Forest. Marco Liu says Georgia Tech is a live dog. There has been no movement. It's been 2.5 at Pinnacle. No movement, 2.5-point dogs here. This total, though, is shot up. It opened at 140.5. It's now at 143.5. Take it away, Max. Wake, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, when I saw this total, I definitely agreed with this line move towards the over. I think that the biggest question is who's going to be available aside from Jordan Usher and Michael DeVoe for Georgia Tech. With Rodney Howard being a probable with an ankle injury to come back from, I don't know how effective he's really going to be. And then with Bubba Parham, it's never a bad thing to have another experienced guard around, and that's what Bubba Parham is. So I want to find out what the status of those two players are before I get involved with a full game. But I do think that Wake Forest has shown an ability to go out on the road and be competitive for 20 minutes. I'm not going to say that they're going to be able to go in and wrap it up because we have seen a couple meltdowns, especially versus Miami. That's the one that comes to my memory most often. And I think that when you look at the first half numbers, and I look at my first half model, I think that this is where Wake Forest has the advantage. And I think that Georgia Tech is going to have to really make me look like an asshole in order to freaking cash this. So I won't even go official with this, Jim. I'll freaking take Wake Forest first half.
All right, we have Max's first official look. It's Wake Forest first half. I'm going to line shop here while we break down the next game. Let me move up here to NCAA. I apologize. Here we go. And Max is on the board. Wake Forest first half. And I will line shop. The next spot here comes in from our guy, Mark Schillingberg. And it is Pittsburgh. Let's move over to this game. Show me. There we go. Virginia, Pittsburgh. Virginia opening up is -3.5 at Pinnacle. There's been no movement here. Some of the dice game offshores that we don't speak of. We speak of a lot of quality offshores, but some of the dice game offshores, I have moved it to 4.5. But the main books are all sitting at 3.5. And this total, man, opening at 116 has dropped to 115 at Pinnacle. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, listen, this is a spot where I went half unit on the full game under, and I went a full unit on the first half over. When I saw a 53 that I could freaking buy, I was like, okay, yeah, 53. Maybe Virginia and Pittsburgh are able to freaking score enough at a high enough pace. And I think with Pittsburgh, that's where we're going to see the improvement in offense. Now Pittsburgh has a dynamic tandem in freaking Jamarius Burton and now the return to Theo Horton. So I think that Theo Horton's got a lot of making up to do, and going through all that bullshit with the false arrest and stuff, being suspended by the school and the school really taking the authority side. I think that he's going to be ready to fuck with his eyes open. He's going to be eating some cupcakes, and he's going to help me get a first half over in this game. So it's a low number, Jim, but I'm going to make it official, and we're going to run with it.
First half over in Pitt, Virginia. I'm going to line shop there. I got FanDuel, Circa, and Pinnacle up, and I've the other books up as well. Foxy, my man, sorry that you it looked like it was going to be a really bad day for me in NHL yesterday. I ended up the tiniest little bit, 0.14 units, pushed with the Islanders, although anyone who took a money line would have cashed. Lost with the Senators, of course, lost with the Stars, but cashed with the Canucks at +125 in Montreal, Dallas over 5.5, and didn't feel like I was leading people very well, and I apologize. But we have Maxwell Smart on right now, who is 12-4 in his 3 shows since he's been back in action. We know Mark Schillingberg in the house, so he wants to talk Pennsylvania. And we have Lehigh next here. Lehigh Navy. The Navy opening up at -12.5. Looks like it's down to 10.5. I'll have to double check that because some books are giving me different information here. And this total opened up at 132. It's now at 133.5 or 134. Take it away, Max. Lehigh Navy.
This is a infuriating line move. Stupido. That's what I think about it. I literally, if I could get up to Gus's face right now without a step stool, I would slap him upside his head. I do not agree with this line move. I'm sorry. When I look at Navy and I watch Navy, what do? They may be slow starters, but they are dominant second half teams, and they lock down defensively in the second half. What is going to change here? Yes, this is definitely a freaking this isn't even a revenge game. I thought it was a revenge game for a second. No, they haven't played yet this year. Listen, Greg Summers is back for Navy. John Carter is obviously the freaking the turbo part of this engine, and Navy's going to do what they do. They're going to freaking win. They're going to cover, and that's all there is to it. I think that when you look at the numbers, obviously Navy does have some problems starting, but that second half defense, when you can keep a team under 30 points in the second half, you know that you are making the right adjustments in game. I think that with Navy's 3-point shooting, they just got to take more of them because they are a 40% 3-point shooting team right now. And with the way that they have fixed some of their issues with some of the guys like Dorsey and Daniel Deaver at the free throw line, I think that the sky really is the limit for this game. And I think that it's going to be a Navy route. So I'll take the Navy 10.5. It's a much better number than I bet, and I'm going to end up betting it again. So sign me up, Jim, officially on Navy.
All right, let's get. By the way, I got you Wake Forest first half -1 at -103 at Pinnacle.
Beautiful.
A nice line there. Line shopping for you right now on the first half over in Pittsburgh, Virginia. Max is also moving on Navy. All right, we've got games still here being brought in from our great cappers in the chat. Again, Max 12-4 over his last 3 shows, and he's coming off a 5-1 plus 3.97 unit night. Next up is our guy, Sammy Culmer. Sammy Culmer wanting to talk Virginia Tech, NC State. Let me move everything over to Virginia Tech, NC State, and see what we are dealing with. Here we go. Virginia Tech opening up at -2 at Pinnacle, now -1. 1-point favorites on the road, and this total's gone from 139 down to 137. Max, take it away.
Yeah, I think that with this game, it's a hard spot for me to bet on. It isn't going to make my board today, and I just don't really have any actionable information I can pass along.
Over 53 at -114 is the best line I can get you right now. That's at Circa. I'm going to check FanDuel. That's the Pittsburgh, Virginia first half over, and we have 53.5 at Pinnacle. So over 53 at -114, and that is at Circa, and I will keep line shopping. Then we have Navy up next. All right, let's keep rolling here with the games that the cappers in the chat want to talk about. We've already gone LSU Bama, so that takes care of Sammy Culmer. The next spot is from our guy Truth Teller, and that is Georgia Auburn. Georgia Auburn. So let's pull this up. Georgia Auburn, and see what we are dealing with. Sorry about the hold up. There we go. Auburn opening up as 22-point favorites. That's dropped to 21.5. And this total has been dropping from 153.5 to 151 at Pinnacle. And we also see 150.5 on the board. Take it away, Max. Georgia going into second-ranked Auburn.
Yeah, listen, I think that Auburn has to be in a nice route spot here. The question is the number too big? I'm not really sure. I think that when I look at this game, it's really going to be about how good of a start Auburn can get off to. We know that Georgia is obviously going to be missing a lot of pieces. I think that they find their way to get over this number just because they have a ton of good freaking ball dribble drives. They have a ton of good freaking interior scoring. And with their versatility of their big men both being able to clear the lane for drives with relatively no resistance, it's just a schematically bad game and bad matchup for Georgia. I think that Georgia probably gets run out the buildings, just a spot where I'd probably be looking at Auburn first half and then having some room to maneuver if that doesn't come through.
More action coming in. Great to see Pink Eye Genie in the house, man. Love that guy. We got Good rolling with us. Unc Oliver just got off early. Much love to you, Unc, my guy. All right, and I hope that you and Tata have got through COVID and are feeling good again, man. We've been thinking about you guys. Also, send as much love out to Matty Ice, star of the Taint play of the day, who's also dealing with COVID right now. Next up, Max, is another spot from North Ender. I believe it's North Ender, looking for Northern Iowa, Valparaiso. Northern Iowa -4.5 road favorites. That's dropped to 4 at Bet365. This total sitting at 140, and it's dropped to 139.5 at a couple books. Take it away here, Max. Northern Iowa, Valpo.
Yeah, this is a spot where I'm not really understanding the line movement towards Northern Iowa. I think that last time I checked, this was a revenge game. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. But from what I looked at it, the number was pretty much on point with the total. So I didn't really see the 2.5 points of value that I need. And from Northern Iowa perspective, I don't see what Valparaiso is going to do to be able to change the outcome. If Northern Iowa is getting their shots and Nate Heisey and freaking Noah Carter are going off, I just think that this is a bad matchup for Valpo. So I'm not looking towards the home dog on this spot yet.
More coming in from the chat here. Only a few more minutes of Maxwell Smart, so hammer away here if you are looking for action. About Buck looking at Wyoming, San Jose. Let me move over and see if I can get us a market move. Wyoming opening up as 18-point home favorites at Pinnacle. Now that's down to 17. And this total has dropped from 140.5 all the way down to 137.5. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, I think that the move to the with the total is the right move. I do think that Wyoming, while they can go up tempo, they do really try to suffocate you and slow you down in second halves. And with the isolation offense that they run, very reliant on 3-point shooting, and they won't have the services of Xavier Dussel tonight. I do think that I'm just going to wait out this line and just wait as long as I can before I hit Wyoming. I think that I've lost faith in this San Jose State team, and I think against this scheme, against this 3-point attack, I just think that it's going to be overmatched, and San Jose State may be in for an ass whooping like they got from Colorado State.
Next up, Max, is from Go Bolton. He was wondering what your thoughts are on Gardner Webb opening up his 10.5-point home favorites against USC Upstate. Now 12.5 at Pinnacle and 13 at other books, even a 13.5 at Will Hill. Take it away.
Yeah, I think that with Gardner Webb, there's definitely some issues taking them as this type of favorite. I think that when you look at their roster, they have a ton of offensive talent. They just aren't really shooting the three like we saw them do earlier in the season. Where they make their bread and butter is defensively. So while I do like them to win this game at home, it's more how many points can they put up to win this game by? And that's where I have the trouble backing Gardner Webb. I know some pretty big bettors, some pretty big ballers that are on Gardner Webb, and I want Gardner Webb to fuck with their eyes open just for that person's sake. However, I think that this could end up being a 7 to 10 point win for Gardner Webb.
Okay, let's keep rolling here. Next up for Max, we have the total being asked about here from our Ryan Kozlowski in Kentucky, Texas A&M. Kentucky opening up at 7-point favorites. That's where they are. There are 7.5s on the board. This total's dropped very quickly from 146 down to 142, Max.
Yeah, the move right there tells it all. If you take the under right now, you're taking the ass end, and if you're playing contrarian, you're taking the over. I'm not on either.
I get it. A big market move there. Bill McDonald wanting to know what you think about Mississippi State, Florida. Florida opening up as 4-point home favorites. That's moved quickly to 6. And this total is dropping slightly from 140 to either 139.5 or 138.5.
I think that with Mississippi's size and the fact that Iverson Molinar is going to be the best scoring guard on the floor, I do think that there's value with Mississippi State as a dog, but I'm gonna use them as a piece in a 5.5 point teaser instead. Give myself a little freaking couple extra buckets to protect myself from, because I think Mississippi State's an outright winner tonight, but there's something about it that's holding me back from jumping on the money line.
A big shout out to Leonard Porsche, who's always had our back here. He found you a first half over 53 in Pittsburgh, Virginia, bookmaker at minus 103. That's 11 cents cheaper than what I found. Yeah, that's great job, Leonard Porsche. Thank you so much. It's hard because Max beats a lot of these market moves and then is forced to deal with what we have here available, and that's an enormous help. All right, Paulie Walnuts, we're about to shut this down. Paulie Walnuts in the house talking about the total in St. John's Creighton. Let me pull that up for everybody here before we put a bow on our NCAA breakdowns with Maxwell Smart. Creighton opening up at minus 4.5, now minus 3.5. A 1-point move towards the Red Storm. This total opening up at 149.5, now at 150.5. What do you think here, Max?
Yeah, for me, this is a spot where I'm looking to hit a first half over. I want to see St. John's get off to a good start. Last time I checked, if my memory's not correct, Champaign didn't play in the first game that they played against Creighton. I have to double check that also. However, I think that with St. John's on the road, they've shown an ability to not settle for that 3-point shot. They have so many bulldogs like Dylan Adewasu that are going to go to the rim and force the refs to blow the whistle. And against this Creighton front court, Ryan Kalkbrenner is a good rim protector, but he isn't as athletic as we've seen other big men in this conference. And I do think that St. John's and Creighton are going to give the fans at the arena a good offensive show. So I do agree with the over. However, I like the first half over a little more.
Our guy Good looking at this Mercer East Tennessee State game. East Tennessee State 4.5-point favorites, and this total all over the map here between 143 and 145, Max.
Yeah, this game's a pass for me. I do not want to back Mercer on the road. The only way that I would look to go is by fading them in the first half.
Fading them in the first half. Quickly, we're going to fire in as much as possible. And thank you, Max, for being so gracious with your time with us. The next spot is Good, wondering about Boston U versus Loyola, Maryland. Boston University opening up as a 1-point road favorite, now 2-point road favorites, and this total at 133.
Yeah, I think that this is a game where I'm still going to ride Loyola, Maryland. I'm impressed with the Village brothers that have come in and provided a lot of good defense and rebounding. You still have Alonzo Foray, who provides some good size, and Golden Dike, your starting freaking four-man. I think that this is a Loyola, Maryland team that can really slow the game down, force Boston to execute in the half court, and Boston, you ain't going to bully them around. So I think that Loyola, Maryland's a spot here for me, and the number going to 2 makes me mad that I took Loyola, Maryland at a worse number, but also makes me want to take them again at a plus price. So I'll even make that official, Jim. I'll take Loyola, Maryland plus 2.
Loyola, Maryland plus the points for Max. And we're going to close up shop with a look from our guy, Pink Eye Genie. This will be the last game we break down. If you want more Maxwell Smart and NCAA basketball coverage, 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday with our man, C-Mac. Pink Eye Genie liking George Washington plus 9 at St. Joe's. They opened as 9.5-point dogs. Pinnacles moved them to 8.5, although 9s are widely available. This total is shot up from 143 all the way up to 147, Max. Final game on the board. Hammer this for us while I line shop for Loyola, Maryland.
Yeah, this is a spot where I took the over early, and this is where I took the George Washington plus 10 when it hit it. I think that George Washington is going to be able to stay in this game. I think that with St. Joe's, my problem is it's not really it's not the issue of Taylor Funk. Taylor Funk is doing everything that you can and you need on offense. Jordan Hall, same deal with him. It's the supporting cast that I just don't have the game-to-game trust in. Obviously, they're going to be a very angry basketball team coming in and losing to LaSalle when they had such a big first half lead. However, I think that when you look at it, the numbers what's most important, not the teams. And George Washington, as this type of dog, looks like they have a little bit of momentum coming into this game, and I'd be willing to take the points with them.
Loyola, Maryland. Can anybody out there help us get a better line for Max? I see 1.5s, a 1.5 at FanDuel, 1.5 Bet365. I see a 2 at Pinnacle, but it's at minus 116. A 2.5 at Circle, but it's at minus 124. Is minus 116 too much juice, Max?
No, Jim. Let's just go with the plus 1.5 at the best juice possible.
Minus 104 is the best juice possible there. Plus 1.5 at minus 104. Let me just double check that here at FanDuel. Yes, plus 1.5 at minus 104. Great stuff. And Brad Hunt says Loyola will rock a rolla tonight. And Rem says, when Max takes Gus's girlfriend to the keg, what steak do each person order? Very interesting question. Very interesting question here. Yeah. Let's review Max's action, and he can answer that at the end of the show if he so pleases. Wake Forest first half -1 at minus 103. The first half over in Pittsburgh, Virginia, over 53 at minus 103. That was brought to us by our friends at Bookmaker. Navy minus 10.5 at minus 114, and Loyola, Maryland plus 1.5 at minus 104. Max, great work. You're running hot, baby. You're seeing things clearly. You're fucking with your eyes open, Max, and we love seeing it. We love seeing it. Any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, Jim, obviously it's a pleasure to see you at this time in the morning. You know, I'm happy that you're healthy and back and that you're not being disturbed by freaking pigeons having sex on your balcony and spreading pigeon semen all over the world. You know, there's too much of it. We need to freaking band up together and lobby the government to get rid of the banging pigeons, sterilize the shit out of them, or serve them to the homeless people. I don't care what you do. And I'll say this, Jim. You know, when it comes to Gus's girlfriend, I'm going to get her so liquored up while we're waiting for our table. She's not even going to want a steak. I'm going to eat a steak. Okay. That's how I'm going to roll.
I love it. I love it, Max. God, we are so lucky to have you on our show. What a great job he is doing here. And you can catch him again tomorrow. But support the show, 5 p.m. with C-Mac. God, he rolls. We have Red Eyes in the house going, Durl. Let's go. We have a giant NBA card for us all to attack, and let's all attack it together. Please welcome the pride of Los Angeles, California. It's Durl in the house. What's happening, my man?
Yo, what is good, Jay? What is good, man? Another day in fucking paradise. Man, good to be talking ball with you again, man. A couple days early, right? But I'm ready, man. This is a big fucking card, dog. This is a big card. And I am ready to get this shit started. Ready.
We are doubling up with our Durl action this week, Wednesday and Friday. And this is one hell of a card. Everybody get ready to go. Get your pen and paper out. We have 13 games. I've already made 4 bets, but just 2 games. I doubled up on 2 games. I can't wait to hear your breakdowns. Let's move everything over to the NBA. Let's get the market movements up, which we haven't been using yet on this show. Where the cash lies, not the market movements. All right, let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic 8-37, 6-21 on the road at the Philadelphia 76ers, 25-18, 9-9 at home. We're at Wells Fargo Center. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Orlando 1-4 over their past 5. 8 wins this year, but one of them hurt us badly. Their last, of course, they're coming off 2 straight losses since that win. But the shock win at Charlotte, 116-109. They're 1-4 over their past 5, 11th in pace at 98.7 possessions a game. Philadelphia 3-2, 16th in pace at 97.9 possessions a game. Let's start with the market moves. We have Philadelphia opening up as 11.5-point favorites, now 12-point favorites. This total opening up at 213. Now it is at 214. When we see where the cash lies here, 4,501 tickets in, 58% of tickets on the Sixers, 86% of the cash. So that explains the move to making the Sixers a bigger favorite. Then we have 71% of tickets on the over and 82% of the cash. So that hasn't quite been seen with the market move. Orlando, as I said, coming in after second straight loss. Head coach Jamal Mosley out with health and safety protocols. He missed the game against the Trailblazers. It was a Wagner show. Wagner.
It was.
Led the Magic with 14 points apiece. Maybe I'm using the show a little too much. They just led the team in scoring. Maybe I should say that. The Magic are 0-20 this season when scoring them fewer than 100 points. They shot 8 of 32 from behind 3. Sixers had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 117-98 loss at Washington on Monday. Embiid had 32 points, and they were the Wizards were all over Embiid because they were just daring anybody else to score, and only Maxey could do it. 30 points in 11 straight games on the road for Embiid. No Danny Green, no Matisse Thybulle, no Shake Milton. Game 1 of a 13-game card. Take it away, my guy, Magic Sixers.
So we know what Orlando is, right? I mean, they had that win against Charlotte, which probably wasn't supposed to happen. But then they just go right back to their losing ways. And one of those games was against Portland. And that was CJ's return. Right. I'm telling you right now, I don't have a play on this game. They have played already. I mean, Orlando, they just played a couple of weeks ago and Philly got them. They covered the spread by 1.5. And then on the 29th, when they played, they didn't cover the spread, and that was a 14-point spread. Now, if you remember the game they played on the 29th of November, Joel was just coming back from his COVID protocol. Right. And then this game that they just played 2 weeks ago, you've been seeing, Joel Embiid on a tear. So this should be really a wire-to-wire game. It really should be. I don't have any action on this game, but you could easily play this game trifecta if you ask me. Really feel good in the first half and first quarter. I just think you're seeing Embiid at his finest. Also, I did see, if you're going to play props. Now, let me say something about props, Jay. The game is starting to kind of level out again, right? To where you can start being confident in sides and totals, right? You know, we did have to play props for a minute because of how COVID and Omarion was just going through the damn association. It's starting to kind of level out, right? And you're starting to get players healthy and things of that nature. So you can be confident in these sides. Don't be afraid of this number. This number's gone up. It probably might go up another hook at that, right? So I don't have a play on this, but if you're going to make a play, just play Philly. You can play Philly here. It shouldn't be a problem for Philly to get up. They're going on a tear, and I just don't see them stopping against Orlando. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, Philly's going to play the Clippers, San Antonio, and New Orleans. Philly at home. Give me Philly all day. Don't have a play, man, but I'm telling you, bro, right now, the side is Philly. And if you want to play a prop, I saw Joel Embiid's lines at 29 for points, right? He's going to not get 30 here? Mo Bamba's back, but, I mean, he played 20 minutes last game, only gave you 5 points and 4 blocks. So, nah, man, don't have an official play, but the play is definitely Philly.
I get it. I can understand backing Philly here, angry off of that very ugly loss to the Wizards. Maybe it's a smash and grab spot. I just don't feel very comfortable with Philadelphia's big favorites, but it would probably be the look for me. Marco Lewis says, do you think Philly's bench can score once the starters go to the bench? And the answer is no. At least they haven't been, especially with Green, Thibault, and Milton out. But this is an angry group, so they're not going to take it easy on the Magic. Maybe you like the first half. My ROI is not good when the Sixers are big favorites. So I'm going to hit it back with myself and stay off.
Yeah, that's why I'm staying off. It is pretty high, right? And then if you look at Philly's record first half, Jay, I mean, they're not the best, right?
No.
They're not the best at all. So it's one of those things too where either you could just confidently back them full game, take Embiid points. You could probably get some on Embiid points or Seth's threes, right? But there's no way I'll play the game, even though it just seems like Philly should get this shit done.
Tariq looking at Seth, 4.5 assists, and Embiid 30+ points. If you want Embiid 30+ points, you better hope that Orlando stays in the game a bit. You don't want Embiid sitting and resting in the fourth quarter.
Right, in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern. Brooklyn Nets at Washington Wizards. Little surprised by this market move.
Yeah.
Washington opening up at -2, which I thought was a pretty fine spot to open it. The fact that money's coming in on Brooklyn did kind of take me back. Their pinnacle is actually it's -1s basically across the board. Will Hill's still hanging at 1.5. This total's gone up 231.5 up to 234. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. We're on the road where the Nets have been so good this year, 15-5, but we saw them in their first game without KD. And I don't know. Well, if 114-107 loss at Cleveland, Cleveland's playing good basketball, so maybe it wasn't. I will hear what Daryl thinks about that spot. Maybe I'll just let him handle that. Brooklyn over their past 5, 2-3, 14th in pace at 98.30 possessions this game. These Wizards are playing much better ball. They're 23-21, 13-8 at home. Over their past 5, 4-1, and 11th in pace at 98.70 possessions a game. Let's see if the cash follows the Brooklyn Nets here, and it does. So
it does.
It does. The Wizards are a public team right now with 62% of the tickets, but only 49% of the cash. So big bets are coming in on Brooklyn, and the market is respecting that. We have 52% of tickets on the under and only 36% of cash on the under. So we have big bets coming in on the over, and we see the market moving towards the over. So all of this makes sense at this point. Let's talk about it a little more. Brooklyn comes in off their second loss in 3 games, 114-107 without KD. Irving goes off for 27-9, Harden 22-10. Wiz come in off their fourth win in 5 games, 117-98 at home over the Sixers on Monday. Bradley Beal comes back from a 3-game absence in protocol. He goes for 13 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, but they were just gushing about his teamwork and just having him back and all that. Kuzma, 18th double-double of the season, 10th in his past 13 games, 15 points, 16 boards. And Thomas Bryant got that big ass off the bench, 15 points for him. Take it away here for us, Daryl. Nets Wizards.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. I don't know who MMA Locker Room is, but that dude, I think he's a hip hop head. I really
He's
do.
money. He's money. He's a great
Yeah.
capper, great guy. He's also an LA Cat, Millsy, great
See,
guy.
okay.
Capper.
I gotta, man, I'm just still new to the family, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he pointed out the Golf Wang sweatshirt. He pointed out Slum Village and Sage last week. I mean, bro, get that motherfucker a gold medal. And Sharon, I don't know. Hey, y'all, hello to y'all too. My partner told me I need to be more interactive with the chat so motherfuckers don't think that I'm better than them, because I'm not. But anyways, I'm telling you now, this line was wrong to me, man. This line was wrong to me. I think this is a Brooklyn game. I think it is. For a minute there, people was riding the wave off of a Brooklyn loss that they always come back and win. Right now, obviously, this is with all of Kevin Durant being in, right? But he's not in. I don't know what's going on with Kyrie. I mean, his points and assists are showing up on the books, right? Even though he's questionable, I think he plays. Washington, man, lost to fucking Portland, dog. They lost to Portland before they beat Philly. I don't know. I think this is a Brooklyn game. I was looking at some angles here. I thought maybe about getting in on a team total, but they're both right neck and neck, right? Team total first quarter. I think that number was Washington at 29.5 or close to 30. But the books got it just right there. I thought about looking at a team total for the full first quarter, or not team total, but total for the first quarter, and that was at 60. Washington lost to Portland. They beat Philly. They're pretty healthy now. They're pretty fucking healthy right now. So it's one of those things to where, even though I'm partial and I like Brooklyn, you see that money is going toward Brooklyn, or the sides are thinking it, to make this number move from -2 to -1. I couldn't gauge a side. I tried to cheat with the first half and the first quarter. Couldn't really gauge it because I think they're even. Public might be right here, right, with thinking that Wizards are the better team. But at this point, it's not something that I wanted to get involved in either in this game, because I really like Brooklyn here. So I like Brooklyn, but Washington is playing good ball, besides the fact that they just lost to Portland. I mean, what the fuck are you going to do, man? You can't be losing to Portland. That's a game that you can't. Everything and anything is possible in the NBA, but that game right there made me say, okay, just put it like this. And this is the reason why I was like, yo, I think I like Brooklyn. Do you think that Cleveland is a better team than Washington? I'll answer it for you, Jay. Yes, you think that, right? And they gave them a game, dog. Brooklyn was in that game for a minute before it kind of fell apart. So all I'm saying is that, do I think that this Washington Wizards game is going to be harder than the Cleveland Cavaliers game? Nah. And that's what makes me lean Brooklyn. But I didn't get to the window on this one at all. I like Brooklyn, but, Washington could still be the play only because they are fully healthy. You got Roy back. You got Bryant back. You got Gafford, who I really like. These guys are back, man. Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, shit. You just don't know.
I think it's a great breakdown. So we'll keep an eye on your Twitter to see if you do end up pulling.
Yeah, I probably won't. I ain't gonna shit. I shit you not, man. I probably won't. All
good. We have a huge card with so many opportunities. So pick the spots that are most advantageous, where you feel the edges are the most legitimate. Let's keep rolling. Next up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Timberwolves 22-22, 10-12 on the road at Atlanta Hawks 18-25, 9-11 at home. It was a nice double up to start the day yesterday with the first half over, and then the Timberwolves team total over. And then I just shit the bed with the Pistons like an ass clown. Minnesota. I don't know why I keep testing the Warriors after they've looked bad. And on national television,
man, wow.
It was funny because it was put out on a silver platter to us from Nut Flush Allen. He put it right out for us. He's like,
what did he say?
He just said that they look terrible on this road trip. Now they're coming home on national television. He's like, you don't think Clay gets right here? You don't think Steph gets right here? He's like they're going to show out. And that's exactly what happened. And it was It was extremely aggravating because I was in a nice spot. I was like, oh, look, okay. But let's keep rolling. Minnesota 3-2 over the past 5, second in pace, 103.30 possessions a game. Atlanta 1-4, 20th in pace, 96.90 possessions a game. And all of a sudden, these Timberwolves are winning close basketball games for the first time since the Garnett days, man. You got to go back to KG when you remember Timberwolves winning close games. Here we go. We have Atlanta opening up as 2.5-point favorites, now 1.5-point favorites. By the way, that 2.5 was at plus 102. This total opening up at 234, now at 235.5. Okay, so we see the movement towards the Wolves and we see the movement towards the over. Does the money follow suit here? 4,425 tickets in, 32% of the tickets on the Wolves and 48% of the cash. So that makes sense, the market moving towards them. Then we have 41% of tickets on the over and 85% of the cash. So big bets coming in on the over. So all of this makes sense. Wolves on the second half of a back-to-back after winning their second straight game, 112-110 at the Knicks yesterday. I find it very difficult to believe that the Timberwolves won't have some sort of a letdown going from Madison Square Garden to State Farm Arena. I find that tough to figure out. One of the things you'd prefer in a back-to-back, a road back-to-back, would be starting at State Farm and then going to Madison Square Garden so you get that extra juice. They've won 6 of their past 8. They are close to avoiding the play-in round. They're playing good ball. Towns goes for 20. Jalen Noel goes for 14, 6 and 3 in 23 minutes off the bench. Jordan McLaughlin out due to health and safety protocols. Take it away here, Durrell. Wolves, Hawks.
I did make an official play here, man. I did. Get your money in and get out. Where the money's at is the first quarter. You know who's behind the Cavaliers and San Antonio on first quarter spreads? Minnesota. They are third in the league right now at first quarter spreads. And they're plus money or they're dogs here. Plus 0.5 point, right? It's got to be a first quarter look. Minnesota right now is averaging 30 points in the last 3 first quarter. Hawks at the bottom of the list, they're 25 points. They beat Milwaukee. And you know how many points they had in the first quarter? 17. They're not a first quarter team. They're not a first quarter team at all. So where you want to put your money right now is with Minnesota. I already did. That was a hard game they played against New York last night, right? I still think they can beat the Hawks. You know, Martin Luther King just came down. The ghost of Martin Luther King came down, gave Atlanta the love they needed to beat Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee just wouldn't let me be great, and I would have just really smacked the shit out of the car that day, just sweeping it. But I'm telling you right now, if this game is going to get out of hand, it'll get out of hand later in the game. It'll get out of hand later in the game. So I did really take the Minnesota Timberwolves. I got it earlier. I don't know where that line is now, but plus 0.5 Minnesota first quarter. They should come in and at least smack them in the first quarter before you start seeing the game level out. They're third in the league for the season. They're already averaging. They're still third, 28.9 points in the first quarter. And in the last 3, they've given you 30. So I don't see how that changes. I do like Minnesota first quarter.
And it's still available. First quarter at plus 0.5 at just minus 105. So low VIG as well. I'm just going to see what FanDuel's offering here. See if we can possibly beat it. No, that's at minus 110. So you're locked in. I get it.
Yeah.
I get the look from a statistical breakdown. God, that State Farm Arena can be so sleepy in these midweek games. And I
get it, man. I get it. But you trying to tell me that Minnesota is going to lay an egg like completely from start to finish? I don't know. The stats say they don't. Even in the last 10, they're 7-3. Right? I think that game, honestly, was an anomaly against Milwaukee. That's not going to happen. They were still losing what? They lost their 11 games at home, and they lost again. They didn't even cover the spread. Yeah, bro. So if it gets out of hand, it may get late, but I'm not thinking that Atlanta's going to come out here on fire and just smack the shit out of them when their season average is already 3 points. What Minnesota's average is. Minnesota's third in the league, first quarter ATS. Give me that shit all day. I don't give a fucking shit.
Wait, whoa. Don't no, let's wait for that. That's all eyes on you when you say I don't give a fucking shit. So let's
whoa. Yeah.
So Michael O'Brien, by the way, fresh off the COVID list. That is great. That's
Yeah.
great. So happy that you're healthy and feeling good. I'm back as well. It just it makes you realize what you've been taking for granted. Durrell is on the board.
Yeah.
Wolves first quarter plus a half at -105. That is available right now at Pinnacle. We move on 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte Hornets 24-20, 12-14 on the road at Boston Celtics 23-22, 15-8 at home. This game is going to be a great one. TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Both teams have won 4 of their past 5. Charlotte's been 9th in pace over those 5 games at 99 possessions a game. Boston 28th in pace at 95.02 possessions a game. Let's take a look at what the market has done in this spot. Boston opening up as 4-point favorites. That's dropped to 3. This total opening up at 218.5 is at 219.5, but Pinnacle's moved it to 220, and you can expect the books to follow Pinnacle's lead. Let's see if the money follows that, and it does. 56% of the tickets on the Hornets and 90% of the cash on them.
That's wild.
5,422 tickets in. Wow. Then the move towards the over, it does not make sense. A big or a series of big bets have come in on the under. So only 21% of tickets on the under and 97% of the cash. Bill McDonald says Hornets money line for him, going for that big score. Joshua Chipman says if Bridges was in, I'd be all over the Hornet money line.
Is he out?
I thought that he is good to go. I mean, he's coming off 38-point game on Monday night. So
I don't think he's out.
I think he's good to go. But we'll double check. We'll double check all injuries here and COVID issues. Hornets come in off their 5th win in 6 games, 97-87 at the Knicks on Monday night. There's my guy Nilo in the house. Great to see you, Nilo. Thank you for joining us, my man. So we just talked about Bridges going off for 38. LaMelo Ball missed the game with a non-COVID illness for the Hornets. Now, that could easily become COVID in a second. You know, when you see a non-COVID illness, generally you expect the player to be available the next game. But what's been happening is all of a sudden, it is COVID. So you want to wait to know what's going on with LaMelo. Rozier goes for 22.7 assists, 6 boards. Hayward goes for 16. And Kelly Oubre is now questionable. They're expecting him to make his return from health and safety protocol and be in the lineup. How many minutes he'll play, we don't know. Celtics have opened up this 4-game homestand with 2 wins. They're coming off their 5th win in 6 games, 104-92 over the Pelicans. Tatum goes for 27-8. Horford 12-7. Jaylen Brown 23-8. Schroeder 23-9 assists. No Marcus Smart. Health and safety protocols. Robert Williams is not around for personal reasons. So Smart's missed 4 straight games, and we don't know what's the situation with Robert Williams. Take it away here. Joe Yurkovich says Hornets offense had a turn down lately. I like the under here. That's from our Joe Yurkovich. Great to see you, Joe. Take it away here, Durrell. This one's a beauty. Hornets Celtics.
Yeah. So besides that embarrassing loss against Orlando, we would be talking about Charlotte being the hot team, which technically they are. It was just a really bad spot for Charlotte, right? I'm telling you right now, man, I like Charlotte here. I like Charlotte here in this position. Looking at the wins that Boston has had, I'm not going to chalk it up. I mean, New Orleans, that's New Orleans, right? Chicago, you didn't have Levine in, right? So you won those 2. You lost to Philly. You know who just beat Philly? Charlotte. They're the ones who just beat them. So I'm feeling really that this is a Charlotte spot, man. It really is. This line was too high in the beginning. I already took it as an official play. I believe that Charlotte's the better team. This team is very, very different with Smart not playing. And I know Boston is kind of iffy up and down, but if Smart was playing, which he's questionable, I don't know if he plays, right? But then you got Naismith, who's another glue guy, who's probably not going to play. Man, I'm telling you right now, the spot here is Charlotte. Charlotte's the better fucking team in this position and how they've been playing. If you add Oubre back, he just gives you depth. He gives you depth. That's probably what they needed against Orlando, right? But at the same token, this has got to be a game, honestly, to where Charlotte should win this game outright. So I do like Charlotte. I took Charlotte at +3.5. I believe you have some 3s right now. But I did take Charlotte +3.5. I think they win this game outright. I just might sprinkle a little bit of something on the money line for Charlotte, but this is definitely a Charlotte game.
Love to be able to get you a 3.5. Only 3s I see right now. I'm going to keep looking here. Yeah, just threes. That three is moved to minus 115 at some books. Pinnacle's still hanging to minus 107. So we're good here. Let's give FanDuel a look, and then we'll just give you the three. If anybody can find a book with a hook, please let us know so we can hook up Durrell with that. But no, and those threes are getting juiced. So 2.5s are going to be coming here very, very quickly.
very
2.5s on the
Yeah.
way. All right, Durrell is in. Hornets plus 3 at minus 107. Let's keep rolling through this giant card. Next up, Portland Trailblazers 18-25, 4-14 on the road to Miami Heat, 28-16, 14-5 at home. We're at FTX Arena in Miami, Florida. Both teams, again, just like the last game, have won 4 of their past 5. Portland surprisingly doing it. Now they have CJ back, so that will help. They're 7th in pace, 101 possessions a game. Miami 4-1, 24th in pace, 96.4 possessions a game. And we don't know what's going on with Kyle Lowry. He missed the Raptors game for personal reasons. So something is up because, he likes to be around those guys. Let's take a look at the market here with what we are dealing with. And Joe Yurkovich again says Celtics game gone under this total 11 out of their last 15. Hornets struggling. Let's go back to that total one more time. Up to 220. See how high that gets. I know we're on Portland, Miami, but what do you think of Joe being bullish on that under in the Hornets Celtics? That's now up to 220.
I mean, I wouldn't knock it. I believe that they're averaging 5 less points in their last 3, right? So their point totals for Charlotte has substantially gone down, right? And then that game against New York, I believe that was 97-87.
Yeah.
So Charlotte didn't even break the century mark, which is kind of unheard of. So yeah, the under. I mean, I don't really like totals, but I wouldn't talk you off of that at all. Not at all. Only because they are trending downward as far as their total points. They were a high scoring team for a while, and then as of late, they haven't as much. But I'm telling you right now, man, the reason why I like Charlotte is I've kind of turned it around. I like how Scary Terry is playing. He's playing balls to the wall. So this is one of those games to where if you like to understay with it, because those teams or Charlotte's points is trending downward. Boston will play it slow, but also beware. I mean, if you don't have a Smart there, then I like Smart as probably one of the best defenders. That's just me, right? But I like Smart as one of the best defenders on that squad. One of at least the most cerebral. So if you don't have him, I think Borrego can do some shit in the second half. Remember, man, Charlotte is a second half team. They do play good in the second half. So that's what I like.
I like it. Makes a ton of sense. Bill has found the plus 3.5 for you at DraftKings. We're just waiting on the juice. Thank you, Bill, my man. And Sammy Calmer saying Celtics are 1-11 against the spread as a home favorite following a win.
Man, I love these numbers, bro. I'm telling you, I'm coming really close to sprinkling Charlotte money line.
Would you want? Thank you, Bill. Do you want the Hornets plus 3 at minus 107 or plus 3.5 at minus 115?
I got it at minus 1. Yeah, just give me the 115. No push.
Okay. Plus 3.5 at minus 115. All right. Sorry about that. Back to this Portland, Miami spot. I am also trying to milk all the information I can and apologize. So Miami opening up at minus 9. Pinnacle's moved it to 9.5. Juiced. All the other books are at 10. So move towards the Heat and Portland. The total, 215.5 has dropped all the way to 212.5. Let's make sure and see if the money correlates with all of that. We have 5,296 tickets in, 81% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the Heat. So that all makes sense there, moving to double digits. And then 49% of tickets on the under and 93% of cash on the under. Now 92%, just changed, but wow. So that all makes sense. And those of you who are interested in the number now probably want to pause. There's my guy Vitalis in the house. Anthony Simons under 28.5 points, rebounds and assists. Says with McCollum back, his usage has went down. Also, the Heat play the third slowest pace. That's a really, really interesting spot, Vitalis. Very sharp. Blazers have been dealing with massive injuries, and they've been playing good ball. They come in off their 4th win in 5 games. Shout out to Chauncey for getting them ready to go with all the issues that they're dealing with. 98-88 at Orlando on Monday. McCollum, who missed 18 games due to that collapsed lung, goes for 16 points in 28 minutes. Norman Powell is supposed to be back on Wednesday as well. He's cleared COVID protocol a while ago, but he's missed 5 games as he works on conditioning. It really messes with your lungs. Like, I still feel it in my lungs. Heat come in off their 5th win in 6 games, 104-99 at home versus the Raptors on Monday. Bam returned. So Bam returned on Monday, 14 points, 9 boards in 32 minutes. And again, we don't know what's going on with Kyle Lowry. I don't know if anybody knows what's going on, but he missed the Raptors game, and we don't know if he's going to be here. Joe Yurkovich says, spread too high. I like Portland, but not a play yet. Tell me you didn't just say that. Says, I like Simons under as well. Would love if Powell played, but like it either way. I need bars. Says, Bam over 8.5 boards. Okay, he's retracted it, but he'll be back up in a second. Take it away. Oh, and Stu Cass says both teams are first half offense. Says the rating is north of 110, and Portland's pace 104.6 on the road. The last 5 down to 102.8. Okay, very, very interesting. Take it away here, Portland, Miami. Let's roll.
Don't let these wins fool you by Portland. Please don't. Please don't. I've already made a play on this. Here's my analysis. Give me Miami minus I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
All right.
Please. Give me Miami minus I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Maybe square, I don't give a fuck. But when I saw them play Toronto, as well as Toronto is playing, that's all I needed to see. And then realizing that these guys are tied for the Bulls now? Like they're neck and neck right now in first and second in the East. Miami is that team, man. And they haven't even been healthy. They haven't even been healthy at all. Now you put Bam in there. You got Bam back in, which takes a lot of the advantage and or takes a lot of the responsibility off of Dwayne Dedmon, who Dwayne plays good when he's in his role position, right? Not when you haven't have him do a lot of responsible shit. I like Dedmon when he's a role player versus being that main guy. And you got Butler in who could get anybody on Portland in foul trouble. Portland is good and has been good when you make Anthony Simons the main guy. But CJ is the alpha there until Dame comes back, right? And you saw that. As soon as CJ comes in, he throws up a 3 out of nowhere. You know, so now you take that load off of Anthony Simons, who in this case, I mean, he should still be kind of the main guy because he's been riding with them the whole time that CJ and Dame has been out. So to me, this is a game that I just feel like it's a no-brainer. Do I give a fuck what the spread is? Not in this damn game. Not in this goddamn game at all. I've already stepped on it, bro. I've already stepped on it. Miami minus 10. I don't think this game is close at all. I don't think it's close at all. So not much. When I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is, I'm telling you right now, man. I mean, I might lose a whole bunch of games, but I don't be losing them. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Miami is just a great team when you got Bam and Butler in there. And I mean, you're going to outshoot them. Now you're taking less responsibility off of Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, right? So now these guys can get comfortable in their spots. You see Jimmy Butler can go to the basket, make the defense collapse. He can throw it back out, and these guys will make their threes. It's a setup here, man. And you're playing at home. Give me that fucking minus 10. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Well, I do give a shit what the spread is because I want you to have a 9.5, and we can find that at Circa. So that's at minus 110, no extra juice. Pinnacle hanging it at minus 113, but Circa hanging it at minus 110. We have the I don't give a fucking shit play of the day.
That is it, bro.
Minus 9.5. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. I should finish it off because
I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Yeah.
Started those shirts, so on Friday you'll see it. You'll see the unveiling.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And we want our own too. Actually, you know what? Too, Daryl, is let's get you hooked up with Jose. Jose is the producer. Let's hook up. Let's get that merch out for our guy Daryl, and so that he doesn't need to worry about it. So we can build it, get it out there, and get our artists on it and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, we don't want you. You shouldn't. We will cover the cost for all that stuff because you're the fucking man. All right, Heat minus 9.5, minus 110 available at Circa. So I've made no additions to my card at this point. And here comes Jake. Our guy Jake says, talk to me about Chicago. There's an odds boost. Let's go right now, 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh, by the way, tell me you didn't just say that says Heat team total over seems like a safer look. That's what.
Oh, goddamn. It could, yeah. I mean, there's no defense, right? But this number is fucking low for a Blazers game. It's kind of low. So that one was kind of confusing. That one was a little confusing, but if it's low, maybe it's just Miami will blow them out and Blazers don't get to the century mark. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see why the Heat would be held back from that. But are you afraid of this spread, Jay? You think this line is high?
It's that, and I think Joe touched on it. I understand that it's Heat or no bet, but against a Western Conference foe without Lillard, I wonder if the urgency is there. And if the Heat smash them first half, I mean, look what happened last night. The Pistons almost covered that bullshit.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Golden State had Golden State had 19 points in the fourth quarter.
So if there's no that's the only concern I have. But I think that you're bang on. I think that the Heat take care of business. I just have a little bit of concern about urgency. But look, if it's I don't give a fuck. If I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is, play of the day, then it makes sense. And you've been hitting at such a high rate on these. We should be tracking just those. I don't know if you've missed one. You're catching them all. So I get it. But that's the only thing that concerns me. It's just a little bit of urgency there. Do they want to put their foot down on the throat of this basketball team?
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Well, they could. I mean, you might see just a blowout win, because then I think this will officially put them in first.
That is a very good angle. You're right about the Bulls struggles.
Yeah. And if the Bulls lose, which that's the next game, right? I mean, fuck, man, that makes it kind of trippy here. So
I get it. But I'm going to stay off at this point. Let's roll on. Jake wants us to talk to him about Chicago, and let's go now. Viper and B gets us rolling, saying Chicago 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. Cleveland 4-7-1 against the spread in their last 12 games. Chicago 15-8 against the spread in their last 23 games at home. Sammy Calmer, going back to that Cavs first quarter money line, says Cavs 20-4 against the spread first quarter on the road. This line seems short for the Cavs full game, but I'm going to continue to ride the Cavs first quarter. Jay Peasy says, Cavs
there you go.
First quarter. Astute Chaos, Cavs first half -0.5 and first half -1.5, and says Chicago has nobody. Let's break this down. United Center, Chicago, Illinois. Every time I say United Center, I think of one of the best weekends I've ever had in my life in Chicago for the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, taking that bus down to the United Center, water bottle full of booze, dirty water. It was just what a city and what a stadium. And just sitting beside that Michael Jordan statue, getting as drunk as possible before I walk into that arena. I mean, does life get better than that? I don't think it does. Cleveland 5-0 over their past 5 games, 21st, 96.80 possessions game. By the way, that was, I think, 2016 Sweet 16 Elite Eight. That was when Syracuse came back and shocked Virginia. I don't know if you remember that, but Boeheim changed everything in that last 2 minutes, and Virginia panicked, and Syracuse.
I was probably high. I probably that's too far back. I was probably high. I'll tell you right now.
It was.
Don't ask me what I did last week, bro. I'm telling you right now. I got the memory of a sea bass. Okay?
Let's focus on the Cavs and Bulls. Then let's go on Cavs. Cavs 5-0 over the past 5. Their 5 straight wins, coming off 114-107 win at home versus the Nets on Monday. They're 21st in pace, 96.80 possessions a game. Chicago 1-4 over the past 5, 9th in pace, so at 99 possessions a game. Let's move over to the odds in this Bulls spot. We have Cleveland opening up as 3-point favorites. That's moved to 2.5 at Sports Interaction and Will Hill. This total is opening up at 218.5, has dropped to 215.5. Let's move over to the cash flow and see if all of that follows suit here. We have 5,384 tickets in, 84% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then we have 64% of tickets on the over, but it's 50-50 with the cash flow. So big bets coming in on the under, and it's dropped. There's Tuate Latte in the house. Hope you're getting over COVID, my man. Great to see you in the chat. Let's roll. Says damn, Daryl looks like Nate Dogg, but has a better voice. But someone has a better voice. Okay, funny. We don't know. We'll guess that it's Nate Dogg who sings the chorus to our lives. Okay, move on. Cavs coming off that 5th straight win, 22-12 from Darius Garland. He's just rolling.
Yeah.
6 Cavs in double figures. Okoro with 15. Markkanen with 14. Rondo misses 4 straight game with an injured hamstring. He's been ruled out for this one. Bulls coming off their 4 straight loss, 119-106 at Memphis on Monday. DeRozan still playing well. Ayo playing well, but not getting enough from other players. Kobe White goes for 16. Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, both out with left knee injuries. Alex Caruso is coming back. Will he be back for this one? Let's see what Dan Kelly, Cavs 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 fourth quarters. Very interesting. Great stat, Dan.
Wow.
Take it away here, Duro. Cavs, Bulls.
Yeah, man. So if you already know where the money is, then you're hitting them first quarter, first half, right? I was looking at, let me see their stats. If I'm right, first quarter points for Cleveland. Last 3, 29, and Chicago is 23, 22, 27. Yeah, you've got to take Cleveland first quarter here. Cleveland first quarter is the play. This line is scary to me, and I wonder if this is one of those games to where people are just going to automatically take Cleveland, right? If you're automatically taking Cleveland, I mean, I'm seeing 2.5s now. So why is that number dropping? It's weird. Yeah. It's weird. So the look would be Cleveland first quarter, Cleveland first half, but I would kind of stay off the full game. Now, I said this about Brooklyn, right? And see what they did to Brooklyn. But if you have teams that's going in opposite directions, you just lost Lonzo, who could see the court behind his head. You're bringing back Caruso, which will give you some defense and scoring to a certain degree, but you don't have LaVine and you don't have Lonzo. And this line is moving the other way. And you got teams going, I mean, I just don't get it here. So maybe there's just a fight in Chicago to where they want to keep that first place position. I'm scared to jump on the full game here. But Cleveland is obviously and most definitely the look. But there's a reason why this was my I don't give a fucking shit with the spread is game. Because I honestly feel that there's something tricky about this game. It seems like the books are leaving the short number so that they can just force the public to jump on the Cavs. But why is that line at 2.5 now? You know, I don't get it. But if you want to know where the money is, then you can go Cleveland first quarter. Cleveland first quarter and look at Cleveland first half, because even if they don't cover that first quarter, it seems like they always bounce back and cover the first half, right? But right now, the points, there's such a differential in points. I'm telling you, man, Cleveland should come out here and feast first quarter. They should easily come out here and feast first quarter. They're just so systematic, and they play a good first quarter game that there's a reason why they are first in the league. Now, looking at their last 10, they've been 6-4, right? But still, it just seems like Cleveland first quarter would be the play to play because of the streak that they're on. These teams are going in opposite directions. So it's a lean for me. Cleveland first quarter, I might get there. But I'm telling you right now, there's just something weird about this game that I don't like. Thought the same thing with Brooklyn too, bro. But at the same token, you didn't have Durant. But this one's weird. It's obvious that Cleveland should come out here and smack the shit out of Chicago because of their lack of players. But it's just weird. So I'm off the full game. Leaning first half here. Just depends on how I feel after this show.
This is tricky. It's tricky. I can understand everybody's trepidation with let me ask you this. A lot of great stuff coming from the chat. Mm-hmm. One of them, Dan Kelly, saying Darius Garland getting a lot of talk for the All-Star game. It's in Cleveland.
As he should, man. As he should.
He's going to ball out at least until he makes the All-Star roster. Is Caruso capable of stymieing that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man, just everything about this game seems weird. Honestly. Could Chicago come out here and get some shit done? Yeah. I mean, what's Dan saying about the Golden State and Chicago game? Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. -3 seems low. Like I said, I'm seeing -2.5. Why is big money coming to the point to where this line is dropping? Right? It's not like Cleveland's on a back-to-back. And they just beat Brooklyn. And some people might say Brooklyn might be the better team than Chicago right now. So I don't know. I don't want to overthink it. And because I'm overthinking it, I'm just going back to where Cleveland is making you money right now, not as of late, but as a full picture, from a more broad perspective, you'll make money off Cleveland first half, first quarter.
Well, let's just close it up with what Pinnacle is doing with this game. So Pinnacle opened this up at 8:22 a.m. And we know Pinnacle is the sharpest book. They opened it at minus 105. Minus 3, minus 105 at 8:22 a.m. We have 94% of the cash, 5,485 tickets in. 84% of tickets, 94% of cash on the Cavs. And there was a 5-cent move towards the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
It's moved back 3 cents. So there's been a 2-cent move since then towards the Bulls. Why would that be? Why would that be?
I'm telling you, man, this one is weird. And to Dan Kelly's point, it happened with Chicago and Golden State. Golden State went out there and put up like $140 with no Dre. Right? So this could be one of those situations. But I just, with the bigs that they have, man, and how Darius Garland is playing, maybe this game right here, Jay, is the prop game, right? Maybe this is a prop game here, but it's just nothing I wanted to get involved in full game.
Nutflush Allen says, watching the interviews after the Cleveland game, they will be coming off a lot of hype. Beating the Nets could be a huge letdown spot. THC's witness says, Bulls going to come out swinging. He said that they were too many losses and they were embarrassed on Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, okay. You don't want to accept the king.
And Wine Time says Bulls all day and twice on Wednesday. Dan Kelly says, here's something being overlooked. Cavs had a tough 6-game road trip, came home for one game and did well. Now they go back out for a game versus a division rival.
Mm-hmm.
Tough
but then they come back home. You know, they'll have a break here. I mean, they don't play again until the 22nd. So they can't go balls to the wall.
It's absolutely great stuff from the chat here. Great stuff. Let's keep rolling. Next up, we have Memphis Grizzlies at Milwaukee Bucks, and that takes us to the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. His winning streak, he had won 6 straight, and it was snapped yesterday. But by no means does that give us a sense that it won't start up again right here. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Let's roll.
Yo, did you just dab? Was that like a mini dab? I swear to God, that shit was just like, hey, man, you can't be doing that in 2022 now, Jay. You got to do a new move, dog.
It was not on purpose. It was not on purpose. Okay, let's go. Grizzlies 31-15, 14. I've never dabbed in my life, in all honesty. I've never taken a selfie in my life. I've never dabbed. There's a lot I haven't done, and I never will do. Milwaukee Bucks 27-19, 14-8 at home. Pfizer form in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Memphis 4-1. Over their past 5 games, third in pace at 102.40 possessions a game during that stretch. Milwaukee 1-4, fifth at 101.40 possessions a game. And the spreadsheet play of the day is the Memphis Grizzlies plus 6.5. Some of those 6.5s are gone. Let's move over to that market right now. We have Milwaukee opening up at -7. Now we see 6s at Pinnacle. There are some 6.5s, a couple 6.5s still available. This total opened up at 226. It's now up to 229.5 at some books, 228.5 at Pinnacle. Memphis. Let's take a look at the cash and see if all of this follows suit. 5,787 tickets in, 51% of the tickets, 45% of the cash on the Grizzlies. So interesting. 49% of tickets, 55% cash on the Bucks. Then you have 78% of the tickets on the over and 95% of cash, and the market has moved up. There. Vibe says if Jimmy takes a dab, he will curl up into a ball with a Kraken bottle and think about Orb. Oh man, that's funny, Vibe. You know me very well. I think we're talking about a different dab there, but
right. That's a different one.
That's kind of dab I will do. Happily. Yeah. Okay, let's move. But my lungs are a bit of a mess since COVID. But Memphis bounced back from their 112-85 loss at home versus Mavericks by defeating the Bulls at home 119-106 on Monday. Ja and Bane each go for 25. Brandon Clark, who we're very proud of up north, and I'm heavily invested in him in NBA Top Shots, added 15 points, 7 of 8 shooting, 7 boards off the bench. Jaren Jackson is rolling right now. 16.9 points, 7.3 boards, 3.4 blocks over his past 8 games, and they love him. The defending NBA champions continue to play underwhelming basketball. They're coming off their 4th loss in 5 games, 6th loss in 8 games, 121-114 Atlanta on Monday. They lost to a Hawks team that had lost 4 straight themselves. Chris Middleton goes for 34 and 11 to 22 shooting, and Antetokounmpo 27-6-6. Bobby Portis 13 and 13, and Pat Connaughton goes in for 14, but they lose. No Drew Holiday. Ankle injury, Lopez out still. with back surgery. Middleton has stepped up offensively, but nobody can do it defensively without Holiday out there. Middleton, 24.5 points, 6.5 boards, 6.8 assists over the last 6 games, at least 20 points in 5 of those games. Bucks are 2-3 in Milwaukee this month. They haven't shot above 45% in all 3 of those losses, and they've given up at least 115 points in 2 of them. Here we go. This game is a beauty. Grizzlies, Bucks, take it away, Daryl.
Yeah, so this is crazy that this line is what it is, right? I don't know if there's recency bias here as well. Memphis is the side. Memphis is absolutely the side, right? Absolutely the fucking side. But the reason why I can't step on it now is because now you're out without your set piece, and that's Desmond Bane. So you don't have Bane in there, right? You don't have Matrix Kyle Anderson. And you don't have Dylan Brooks, who's kind of been kind of iffy this entire season. All these guys do, specifically Kyle Anderson, or more specifically Dylan Brooks, they slow the pace down. They slow down the pace of the game. And so this is a game right now that if Memphis wants to win this game, they're going to have to play fast. And Milwaukee's going to want to come off to a fast start because of the embarrassing loss they just had against Atlanta. And they started off fast. Like I said, Atlanta only had 17 points in that first quarter. 17 points, Jay. So this is the way I took it, and I took it early, and we probably lost value in it. I took Memphis Grizzlies, Milwaukee Bucks over 228 because I believe this is going to be a faster game now that you don't have Anderson out there. And you're still going to have a lot of scoring come from Ja Morant now. Giannis, he's going to really have to finesse the 5 role because you're not just going to run through Steven Adams. You're not just going to run through Steven Adams at all. So you're going to see a lot of Euro stepping Giannis to get to the rim, maybe getting some foul trouble. You still got to do something with Jaren Jackson. But I'm telling you right now, man, this just seems like an over game. And this was at 226. I believe this line opened up at 226, and it's already close to 230. So the only way that Grizzlies can really win this game is to keep it fast and keep scoring. And for what it's worth, somebody can look at the numbers. I don't want to say Memphis is really great defensively, right? Where the money is also, but I would want to have your set pieces in there. Grizzlies are 8-2 in the last 10 with first half, and now they're dogs, right? So you can look at Grizzlies first half because we know how they play first half at probably -3.5 or so. But I just like the over. I took it early. I took it way early this morning at 228. So honestly, this game looks like it could still go over. We've lost some we've lost some value because it's steamed up. So if you want a safer play, I would honestly look at Memphis first half. But other than I couldn't play the sides not without Desmond Bane in there. So it just seems like right now I'm going to stick with that over 228. I think this game does go over.
We can get you a 228.5 at -114. My fear for the full game over, and I love this breakdown, and I'm with THC's RZA. Bucks come out crazy, in my opinion. Bucks first quarter. Remember what the Bucks did to the Warriors in a similar situation where they hadn't been playing well. They were at home. Warriors come in and they just shot all over them. They just destroyed them early. Is that Mavericks game against Memphis? They just let go. They ended up scoring 85 points in that game. They just completely let go. I wonder if focusing on a team total and only a team total would be a look here. And then saying that, what if the Bucks do smash with all these guys out of the lineup and the Grizzlies kind of just let go because they've been so good this year and that they need to kind of, keep their end, just let go of the game.
Can somebody explain to me, as far as Bucks smash, now we know this is like a doppelganger team, right? Bucks away and Bucks at home are different. You don't have Drew, which is huge, right? But can you tell me how they just lost to Atlanta? Like what? I mean, what? Did they just have a brain fart or what? So Memphis here is going to be a scrappy team. We do have Bane out. We do have Anderson out. But what was the narrative, man, when Ja was out and they were still winning games? These motherfuckers was talking about that this team is better off without Ja. I mean, what the fuck was that about, right? So who's better, Bane or Ja? So if you're going to say that this team can't win, and they did win without Ja, then they can do the same thing and win without Bane. right? Now, this game here, Bucks do have to get up because that was an embarrassing loss. Embarrassing loss. So that's why I'm not messing with the sides. But this game should go fast. It should go fast, and that's why I like the total better.
I like it. I get it. I feel like this is an angry Buck squad. They lost back-to-back games in Charlotte. They came home and played the Warriors, and it was a big game, and they put up 77 points in the first half, and we're up 77-38 at the break. I have a feeling that after the embarrassment in Atlanta on Martin Luther King Day, that they fire out in similar fashion here. And you talked about without Bane, without Brooks' defense, that it might move towards an over. Joe Yurkovich says Grizz play hard. They do play hard, but they certainly let go against the Mavericks.
That's true.
And by the way, Tyler Hero just ruled out with COVID.
So this line will go down.
Tyler Hero just ruled out with COVID.
I don't give a shit.
Bananas and Grapes says, I can't explain why the Bucks lost to the Hawks without Capella made me even more confused. Joe Yeager says Grizz care way more about this game. Bucks just pacing themselves for the playoffs, especially out of conference. Still, when they're 27-19, don't they need a playoff position here at some point? Maybe this is a big mistake here, but I'm with THC's RZA. And I don't want to triple up, but Bucks first quarter, first half, and the first half team total over for the Milwaukee Bucks. And if I do triple up on this game, I might cut, 25% off of my unit size just so that I'm not too invested in this. All right. So we have a move from Durrell over 228.5 at -114. It's a half point worse than what he got this morning, but Pinnacle still hanging something nice here. And let's go. Let's roll. So we have in that game, Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day on Memphis Grizzlies +6.5. I'm going to focus on the Milwaukee Bucks early. First quarter, first half team total over with my guy, THC's RZA. I think that I like it. Okay, let's roll. We move on here to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Raptors 21-20, 9-9 on the road at Dallas Mavericks 25-19, 13-8 at home American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Toronto 2-3 over their past 5. Slowest pace in the NBA. I don't remember ever seeing this. 91.5 possessions a game. Dallas 4-1, 26 and 96.00 possessions a game. Part of the answer is Nurse used 7 players and then lost Champagny to a dislocated finger in the second quarter. So it was 6 players he was going with. So Nurse is trying to win these basketball games, and we love that shit, and that's why the pace is probably slowing down. Dallas 4-1, 26 in pace, 96 possessions a game. Let's take a look at what the market is here in this Raptors spot. Dallas opening up as 4.5 point favorites down to 3.5. This total opening up at 206.5 is up to 208 at Pinnacle. Raptors, let's see what the cash is here with this spot. We have 4,388 tickets in. 49% of the tickets on the Mavericks and 91% of the cash, and a market move towards the Raptors. Confusing. 44% of tickets to the over and 61% of the cash to the over. So big bets coming in on the over. And now we see the market moving towards the over. Astute Chaos says Dallas first half. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Because the under. That's from Astute Chaos. Sammy Calmer says Mavs were 4.5 point favorites previous meeting in Toronto, won by 8. Now the line opens at 4, now -3.5. Mavs also have the Suns tomorrow night. Raptors is my top NBA look, says Sammy Calmer. Okay. Top NBA look. Top. And JPZ asking you what the Siakam props are.
Oh, you already know where I'm going, bro.
All right. Well, because the Siakam, Daryl gave out Siakam 5.5 assists on Friday.
I lost that.
But then the following day, he had a triple double the very next game. So I was just praying. I was praying that some of you guys went back to the well. I was thinking about you guys. Raptors coming off a third loss in 4 games, 104-99 in Miami on Monday. Again, I said the players. Boucher goes for 23 and 10. Van Vliet goes for 22. Precious Achiuwa goes for 6 and 15 boards. Gary Trent did not play Monday. He's listed as questionable today. Mavericks with the ankle injury. Mavericks coming off the third straight win, 104-102 at home over Thunder on Monday. They were way up, and they just put the foot off the gas. They won 9-10. Luka, 5th triple-double of the season, 2011 and 12. But he went 4-17 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. KP goes for 13 and 8. They played together for the second consecutive game. That's the first time they've both been active for back-to-back games since December 8th and 10th. Take it away here, Daryl. Raptors, Mavericks.
Yeah, so that's the play that I'm on. I'll just go right there. I mean, I think Toronto actually is really good right now. I think they're good. I think they're good enough to win this game. They're playing some good ball. Now, last week on Friday, I said, give me Siakam's assists over 5.5. That was at plus 149. That line, sheesh, a lot of plus money there. He didn't hit it. If you look at that game, man, that was terrible. Fred VanVleet, 6 for 21, 6 for 14 from the 3. OG Anunoby, 5 for 14, 3 for 7. Scotty Barnes, 4 for 13, 0 for 4 at the 3. It was probably one of their worst shooting nights against Detroit, and they lost that game. Do you know who was dishing the ball? Siakam. Siakam was dishing the ball. You see the next game, 10 assists. The game after that, 10 assists or so. He's hitting 4 or 5 assists, man, in the first half. So I got to go back to the well. It was a bad shooting night for Toronto, and I like them better in this position because whenever you have a slow-paced team like Dallas, I believe that gives you an opportunity to get into your actions, to run your actions and sets, right, and make good plays, make smart plays. This is going to give Siakam that opportunity to do that. So I did already jump on Siakam's assists. I've made my money back for when I lost, right, on Siakam's assists. He's doing it. He's doing it consistently, man. The books really, I don't know if you want to say they caught up yet, but it's at 5.5 at plus money. I don't see why he doesn't hit it. Now, if I get on this goddamn show and this motherfucker don't hit 5.5 assists today, I got to be off it. You know what I'm saying? I got to be off of it. But I mean, what he's doing, man, as far as just dishing the ball out, his connection, Scotty Barnes. He's got a good Scotty Barnes connection. Your problem with Toronto right now is Precious Achiuwa. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Precious. I don't know, man, but that might be your problem right there. But what I like right now is Siakam's assists. I already jumped on it. Over 5.5. It's at plus 102.
I can get you plus 105 right now at Bet365, minus 110 at FanDuel, minus 101 at Bet Online, says our guy TJ. Thank you for doing that for us. Yeah, JPZ. So I don't know if everybody can hammer Bet365, but it's over 5.5 assists at plus 105. So we'll give you that.
I already took it. Now, the reason why the books have this at plus money is how well Dallas's defense is, right? But we understand this is also a copycat league. And Dallas almost lost to OKC, right? So there's some things that could be exposed there. And honestly, Dallas has dogs. I'm not going to lie. They do have dogs. So to even think that they cannot stop him from giving these assists, yeah. But I like it here. I like it here enough to where I've made my money enough back to where if I lose it, I lose it. But in the long run, I've had a lot of success with Siakam's assists.
I like it. There's talk about moving on the under. It's interesting that it's gone up. It's confusing, you could say, that it's gone up, which is what it's done here. Just taking a look, see if no, I did not beat any of those market moves. Okay, there's Sanka. Great to see you, Sanka. And there is our guy, Puzzler. I love Puzzler. Okay, so THC's Rizzo said open at 207. Also, both teams tend to play slow, and Dallas has the best defensive rating past few games. It is a low total. Stu Cass says Dallas defense is elite. They can stop anyone.
Yeah.
And Sam, thank you for sharing your hard work with us. I like the plus line. I like you going back to the well. I think it all makes sense. Raptors, Mavs. At this point, I am off. Let's roll on now. 8:30 p.m. This is a first spot on the board that I already bet. Oklahoma City Thunder at San Antonio Spurs. So with the Spurs, I said that there was going to be value with them throughout this as this homestand went along. They beat the Clippers, and I was like, look, I'm right. They were beating the Suns. They were up 6 to 8 points on the Suns, and I didn't bet it, and I was beating myself up. I was saying, you said it on the show, and now you're not following through. And then the Suns completely took over in the fourth quarter. They did.
Slapped them.
I would have lost, and it's one of those shocking spots. But
yeah,
I know how the Thunder play. They just keep coming at you.
They cover spreads.
Keep coming at you. I've already bet the Spurs first quarter, first half. I expect them to fire out here.
Yes.
I got -2 and -4. At the time, it was 6.5 at the full game. It is now 7. Let me just see. I thought that I did have to do a little bit of juice. Yes, on the first quarter, -2, -115. First half, -4 at -110. Oklahoma 1-4, San Antonio 1-4 over their past 5. Oklahoma paced at 25th at 96.3 possessions a game. The Spurs 13th at 98.40 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the cash flow and the market here. So we have 7s across the board. It did open up at 6.5. This total opened up at 219.5, and it's now at 221 or 221.5. When we get to the cash flow, we have 3,669 tickets, 35% of the tickets on Oklahoma City, and 52% of the cash. So big bets coming in on the Thunder. Then from a total perspective, 57% of tickets on the under and 98% of the cash. So big bets have come in on the under. Thunder coming off their second straight loss, 104-102 at Dallas on Monday. Shea goes for 34, Dort 18, Giddey 10, and Shea took over in the third quarter. It was impressive. Spurs coming off their 6 losses in 7 games, 121-107 at home versus Suns on Monday. They were playing good ball, as I said, until they fall apart. This is game 5 of a 7-game homestand. I love this shit. I love game 5 of a 7-game homestand. I like game 6 even more. All 5 of San Antonio starters scored in double digits. Puedl, 23 and 14. Murray, 18. McBuckets, 15. Johnson, Derek White, 14. Vassell, 10 off the bench. I'm backing the Spurs first quarter and first half. I think they come out and play really good basketball here. Take it away, Daryl. Thunder, Spurs.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I already took them. Spurs -2 first quarter.
Beautiful.
Right? This is top 2 team in the league, first quarter and first half spreads, right under the Cavaliers. So you just go back to the well until it's dry. Right? Now, even in their last 10, Spurs, man, 5-5. So they've kind of evened it out first quarter spreads, but this line is short enough to where I think they can come out and get it. If I'm right, just the first quarter average is crazy. First quarter average for points right now, especially in the last 3, San Antonio has given you 25. So that's gone down a little bit, but the last one was 28. But bro, OKC is at the bottom. Now, last 3, they've been averaging 31. So these numbers kind of, if you're looking at the numbers, then the numbers would tell you, yo, don't take San Antonio here. Don't do that, because Oklahoma City has been actually averaging more points in the last 3 than San Antonio. But overall, as a body of work, this just seems like something San Antonio should easily get done in the first quarter. So I took them. I already took San Antonio first quarter. The only reason why I didn't take them full game as a trifecta is if you look at OKC's body of work, especially as of late, man, they're covering spreads. They are covering spreads. They are covering spreads. So I already took it. It's one of those things to where I probably would have leaned more heavier on the first half, but it was just one of those things to when I see San Antonio and their opponent, like, yo, this one here, this should be a game to where San Antonio should be able to get up easily in the first quarter. Now, how it turns out second half is a different story. But I do like San Antonio Spurs first quarter -2. I already jumped on it, and that's my official play.
A lot of books moved that to 2.5, but not Pinnacle, still -111. So we can give you that right now. From a team total standpoint, Joshua asking what the Thunder's team total is. It's at 106.5 at Pinnacle, and that's juiced to the under slightly. -110 to the under, -106 to the over. Durrell is locked in. Spurs first quarter -2, -111. I'm with him. I got -115, a little bit of worse price than he got. But I like it. I like that you're there too. I'm also on first half -4, -110. And we thought the same thing about it. Now, Viper MB is on the trifecta. I'm going to cheer heavy for it.
Yeah, I'm scared of that trifecta, man, because just look at what OKC's doing. I mean, they're covering spreads.
And we're listening to Dort talk after the game. He's like, look, we don't get nervous when we fall behind early. That makes me think that they could be lacking the urgency and will help us cover it this first quarter, first half.
Yeah.
Whether you think, don't worry, we'll just keep coming at you like they did against the Lakers earlier in the year.
Hey, stop that. Sorry.
THC's Rizzo says Spurs -7, lost 3 consecutive to Thunder, but I've been trying to play the Heat and Spurs as much as possible during this homestand. And THC's Rizzo says he would take the over team total with OKC. JPZ says OKC is a last place first quarter team, but they just beat Cleveland first quarter. I think it was a fluke. Bet San Antonio. I like it. All right. I like it. Let's go. Joshua Chipman says, going to get in trouble if someone goes on this work computer and sees I be laying bets at work.
That's funny. That was me for a minute, man. I'm telling you, I used to cover my shit up all the time.
Oh man. Yeah, it's I love it. I love it. Okay, let's roll. I was going back to at my last job, and I don't consider this is this brings so much joy to my life. I don't even think it was.
Yeah, this is not a job. Your passion is not a job.
2001, Chevron. I have to go back to that's 22 years. Okay, let's roll. Let's roll. Spurs, first quarter, first half, -4. Next up, 9 p.m. Eastern. This is my other move here.
Okay.
And I watched the market go down in this Rockets Jazz spot, and I thought, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I know there's Donovan Mitchell, and in all honesty, I don't think we need Donovan Mitchell to hit these overs. I took a first half over and a full game over. Rockets, Jazz. Rockets 13-32, 6-19 on the road. Jazz 29-15, 14-8 at home. We're at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. When Donovan Mitchell is not on the floor, everybody eats. Yeah. Everybody eats. The ball moves around and everybody gets their opportunities. They're coming off a horrible shooting night, which I will break down here in a second. And I think they can bounce back here against a Houston team that's going to try to run them into the ground. This is the Jazz's third game in 4 nights. They're going to try to run them into the ground. And that's going to speed up the pace. Houston already playing with the fastest pace in the NBA over the last 5 games, 105.4 possessions a game. Now, Utah's pace is just 17th at 97.8 possessions a game, 1-4 over their last 5. They got to get right, and they got to get right shooting-wise. I saw it drop from 132.5 down to 232 down to 230.5, and I thought, perfect. It's still at 230.5, so it hasn't dropped anymore. That makes me feel good. It's juiced to the over at this point at most books. Jazz open up at -11.5. They're at -13 or -13.5. Let's go over to the cash flow. I didn't look at the cash flow when I made this bet. 62% of tickets and 99% of cash on the Jazz. We see it moving towards them, and they're not good. 79%. But I think that was because I don't know. Look, I'm not going to guess why there's all this money on the under. 79% tickets on the under, 95% cash. Look, Donovan Mitchell's not there, and I don't want him to be there. He scored 13 points and missed all 8 of his 3-pointers, but Bogdanović goes 0 for 4 from 3. Clarkson goes 0 for 6 from 3. Rudy Gay goes 1 of 8 from 3. I really think that they're going to shoot better, and they're going to feed each other the ball. The Rockets coming off their second win in 3 games, 118-112 of the Kings on Saturday. Wood goes for 23 and 14. Porter Jr. goes for 23 and 7 assists. The lowest ranked defense in the NBA. They give up an average of 116.7 points per game. Their opponents haven't scored fewer than 111 in 15 straight games, and these guys want to get right. The Jazz coming off their 5th loss in 6 games where they couldn't shoot the ball. I mean, this was just screaming at me to bet the over first half and full game. I got first half over 118.5 and full game 230.5. Take it away, Daryl, my man.
Yeah, I don't have a play here, man. I mean, Jazz, they're not covering spreads. They're not. And this number was just way too high to me. Now, we know Houston does suck. They're terrible. But this is a prop game. This is a game to where you just look at some angles. If you think it's going to go over, honestly, look at some players who can make some points. I don't trust Utah. I do not trust them. My beloved Lakers beat them, kept them under 100 points, right? So, I mean, there was a whole lot to say about that game, but I'm just telling you, man, I honestly feel that as terrible as Houston is, they could cover the 13.5. They can do that. And so I couldn't make a move here. This line is too high for me. And then I feel the opposite. As bad as he has been shooting, man, you take Donovan off the court, then you're just having your glue guys come in. Well, not glue guys. I mean, they're all very good. I mean, that committee, that whole team as a body is pretty good. But I'd look at Jordan Clarkson's points, bro. I think Jordan can just light it up, right? I'd look at some Ingles threes, something. Look at the props more than the sides here. I couldn't gauge it, so I don't have a play for this game.
Well, we got lots of action here on the board, so I get it. 3 more games, and we go to West Coast not at first. We hit Mile High, but then we're going to go into the West Coast. All these games at 10 p.m. Eastern, and I am moving on the Bucks, but at this point, it looks like that'll be my only additions. Let's see if we add stuff here. 10 p.m. Eastern, LA Clippers, 22-23, 7-11 on the road at Denver Nuggets, 22-20, 11-8 at home, Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The Clippers 3-2. Over their past 5, 21st in pace at 96.8 possessions a game. Denver 3-2, 27th in pace at 95.80 possessions a game. We have these Nuggets opening up at -8, now 8.5 across the board. And this total opening up at 212.5, now 213.5 across the board. We all remember what happened last time these two teams met up. Nuggets were up 25 points in the third quarter, and it was just an ugly, low-scoring game. And the Clippers came all the way back and won that game. Let's see where the cash lies in this spot. We have 66% of the tickets on the Nuggets, 95% of the cash, and the market moving towards them. We don't know where the cash lies in the total, but we have 59% of tickets on the over. So looking at a very different game. And the Clippers snapped their 2-game losing streak with a very high-scoring game, 139-133 victory at home over the Pacers on Monday. Batum goes for 32 and 7 threes. Jackson goes for 26. Marcus Morris Sr. goes for 21.
Mm-hmm.
And still no Paul George. So Nuggets had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 125-102 loss at home to the Jazz on Sunday. Take it away here, Daryl. Clippers, Nuggets.
I don't care about this fucking game. I really don't. I do not care about this fucking game at all. For real. Like, I looked at it and I just said pass. I really did, man. There was so many games to look at. I was just like, yo, why am I going to waste my time even talking about these fucking teams? Why? I mean, Denver laid an egg and Clippers scratched off with that win. I think it was like a 2-point win. They didn't even get to 90 points. You know, so, I mean, I don't care about the Clippers. If you're in LA, nobody cares about the fucking Clippers. Should just go back to San Diego, right? But I really don't care about Denver. I mean, Joker is just playing lights out this year, and they're just mediocre. They're mid, bro. So, nah, I'm sorry, man. I don't have much to say on this game at all. I don't care.
When you look at these rosters from what we would expect of them to have, it's ugly. THC's just saying not laying 8.5 with the Nuggets, but he likes Nuggets first quarter and first half.
Yeah, I mean, you probably got to look at props here again, man. You probably do, but it's just these teams, and then I just saw Nick Batum out with COVID.
Yeah,
I mean, fuck. I mean, this is just terrible. It's terrible. I don't care. This team. I know we do care, Jimmy. We do care. We try to find.
We don't have to care. 13 games on the schedule, man.
That's what I'm saying. Let me live. Let me not care about one game. This one will be it.
Hey, man. Valid. And you weren't the only one. Viper says same, Daryl, and he's laughing out loud. He just passed this game. 10 p.m. Eastern next up. Detroit Pistons 10-32, 3-18 on the road. The Sacramento Kings 18-28, 12-15 at home. Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. The Canucks had just won, and I cashed that plus 125, and then I had to watch this disgrace of a Pistons team. But it wasn't the team that I was just ashamed of. It was myself. Myself for thinking that they had a chance against the Warriors. What a mistake. Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Detroit 2-3 over the past 5. 15th in pace at 98.2 possessions a game. And Rudy Gay was just ruled out, says Gary Malone. I'm fine with that too.
He mid too. He mid.
Yeah. Get Rudy Gay out. Get Rudy Gay off the floor. I don't need him with that slow ass out there. And let's go. Okay. Jared TG says, don't care about this game either. Come on, let's keep the energy up. Energy up. Only 2 games left. I know this. No, not you. Not you. You're money in the bank. I just mean us as a team. Us as a team. Let's keep it up. Okay. Pistons on second half back-to-back after suffering that 102-86 beatdown San Francisco against the Warriors last night, and the score flattered them. It was ugly. Wonder if they have a bounce back in them. Sacramento opening up at -6.5. They're now 7s across the board. This total opened up at 222. Now we see a 222.5 on the board. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, 3,921 tickets in. 42% of the tickets on the Kings, 97% of cash. Big bets have come in on the Kings. Then we have 59% of tickets on the over, 84% of cash on the over. No Jeremy Grant, no Kelly Olynyk. We thought Olynyk might be back. So Casey says, look, I don't know. He says he left the door open for Olynyk to come back. What the fuck does that mean? Ready to go with Trey Lyles, another Canadian kid that we like up here, who is not showing what we were hoping in the NBA. Kings had their 2-game winning streak snapped on 118-112 loss at home versus the Rockets on Sunday. This astute chaos puking for this game says this game is unwatchable.
Yeah.
Unwatchable. Joshua Chipman says, can't believe anyone spent their hard-earned money on those bums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. God, it was awful. Detroit 1-5 against the spread, says Viper, in its last 6 games on the road. Take it away here, Drill. Any interest in Pistons Kings?
Okay, I'm sorry. I take that back. 2 games.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about this game, man. I don't.
Yeah.
But I was trying to cap it, though. Remember, we were kind of making money off the Sacramento first half, right? We were kind of making a little bit of money off the Sacramento first half. I looked at that record as of late, and that's been shit. Been absolute shit. So Sacramento is now like middle of the pack, man. They're 4-6 in their last 10 in first half spreads. I don't know. You would blindly take, the Pistons because of how much ass they are, right? But you do need to have a game. I mean, maybe they could show up how they played against Toronto and just have a good shooting night. But honestly, then, man, I'm just, God damn. Like, this is another game, man. It's like, I'm not watching this shit. I'm not watching not 1 second of this game. I'll watch some highlights. You got some news coming out right now about what De'Aaron Fox probably being traded or included in a trade or having trade talks. Nah, man, it's too much going on in Sacramento. Too much going on in Sacramento and not enough going on in Detroit. So it's just not a game that I wanted to be involved in. I don't care about this game. I don't care if you care or anybody cares about this game. You can't make me care about this fucking game. Dead ass, man. So yeah, I'm off of it.
Let's talk about your Los Angeles Lakers. There's Jacksonville Zoe in the house. You can catch our man Zoe on the NFL Pub Hub this evening, 8 p.m. Pacers Lakers. Let's get some interest here and talk about your purple and gold. 22-22 on the year, 15-11 at home at Crypto.com Arena in Inglewood, California. Pacers 15-29, 3-17 on the road. Indiana pace over the last 5 games, 18th at 97.67 possessions a game. Lakers are 2-3 over the past 5, 8th in pace at 99.70 possessions a game. We have the Lakers opening up as 5-point favorites. That hasn't moved. This total opened up at 225. That hasn't moved.
Hold on, Jimmy. Jimmy, I just saw somebody say, what did they say? I'd love if the Kings weren't an NBA team. That's so fucked up. That's cold, man. That's cold.
Sacramento needs the Kings, man. That's not.
Hey, 90s ball. Remember they were called the Sacramento Queens, right?
Yeah, Weber did his best. Weber did his best to change that.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Back at it, man. I'm sorry. I saw that shit pop up. That's funny, bro. Okay.
No, it is nice. But we're talking about your Lakers here, and I love capping these Lakers. Viper MB says Lakers 4-2 against spread last 6 games at home. And tell me you didn't just say that De'Aaron Fox under 7.5 assists. That's a good look. 9 of the 10 last games.
That's a damn good look. That's a spot on that game right there. That's a good look.
There you go. From tell me you didn't just say that. Respect. Viper MB says Indiana 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 games on the road. And Jared TG says Kings were fire in 2006. If it wasn't for Donahue, Donahue. Okay, let's roll here. Pacers coming off their 4th straight loss, 139-133. The Clippers on Monday. Lakers snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 101-95 win at home over the Jazz on Monday. And the Jazz were on the second half of back-to-back. Lakers took advantage. They'd lost their previous 3 games, giving up an average of 128.3 points. And that was against the Grizzlies, Kings, and Nuggets. Is it because the Jazz couldn't hit any buckets, or was the Lakers defense better? Yeah. Take it away. Last game of a 13-game card. This is the biggest card we've ever had here in NBA. Pacers, Lakers, Drill. Take it away.
Yeah, man. So this is weird because you've seen a lot of movement with games today, right? But this number has stayed at 5. I mean, I think it was at 3.5 earlier, maybe yesterday. But it was at 4.5, and then it's got to 5, and then it's just stopped at 5, right? I'll tell you this, Lakers Twitter was kind of going crazy because you know that there's some news about somebody dropping dimes. Somebody was snitching in the Lakers organization. I think it was Kurt Rambis. They're looking to pass the blame on Vogel right now. Even after that win against the Jazz, there's some news coming out that Rambis actually sat into a pre-managers or was it a coach's pre-meeting or whatever. I'm not saying this right, but it's suggesting that they play DeAndre Jordan more, right? So there's some shit coming down from the Lakers facility right now. And if you kind of dig into what's going on, there's a lot of shit going on about Pelinka. There's a lot of shit going on about Rambis, and there's a lot of shit going on about Vogel. And somebody's got to be the fall guy, right? Which it looks like they're lining up Vogel to be that fall guy and possibly be fired. You know what I'm saying? So when I see shit like that, I always like, okay, hold up, man. Hold up. There's a lot going on, right? There could be a lot of distractions emotionally, or rather mentally, to where this is a game that I will all be all on the Lakers here. But I just think there's too much shit popping off right now in LA, right? Now, we know without a shadow of a doubt, Pacers is not a second half team. They're a first half team. We know that. So the look would possibly be Lakers full game, because Pacers can just fall apart. You had that news come out about Miles Turner as well, to where he's sidelined for a little bit. They're still trying to see if he can get some value out of him, in the long run with the trade. But honestly, there's too many moving parts here. And I want to see, this is one of those games where I want to sit back and watch. I want to see if that Jazz game was also an anomaly. I want to see that shit, because if it isn't, then the Lakers are probably going to lose this game. But nothing tells me that because of how shitty the Pacers play in the second half. But why this line isn't higher than even 5, man, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird to me also, as shitty as the Pacers play in the second half. And as shitty as they played in their whole body of work, even in their last 3, they're not looking good at all. So after that Lakers win and that line opens up at 3.5, and now it's at 5 and it's sat there, either people are just not playing the game at all, or it's all together, man. It just seems like it's one of those games to where maybe they're not trusting the Lakers, and the Lakers come back and keep it close, or possibly lose this game. I don't know. And when I have too many more questions than I have a solid answer, I just stay off of it. So as much as I would love to play the Lakers here, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I would rather stay off of it and watch and just see what you're getting outside of that organization and onto the court tonight. It should be a Lakers smash, right? But all that shit popping off about Vogel, Pelinka, Rambis, playing DeAndre. What if you start DeAndre? There's not one real Laker fan that wants DeAndre Jordan starting. You feel me? So no, it's too much going on right now to where I'd rather be cautious, and maybe I just got too much love for the squad. I'm not saying I'm a Lakers super fan, but bro, come on, man. There's some shit popping off. So I'd rather see what's going on.
PZ says Vogel needs to secure his spot like Phil did, lay the wood to Genie. That's what. Vogel's gonna get dropped here soon.
Yeah, and I think they're setting him up for that, man. I think they're setting Vogel up, and it's not Vogel's fault, bro. It really isn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it all on him at all. I think that the offseason moves did not make sense, and we were supposed to just trust LeBron.
Yeah, it did. But that wasn't LeBron either, man. I mean, Pelinka got Russ in. Russ didn't want to have happen to him what happened to him in OKC, right? He didn't want that to happen again in Washington. He called the owner in Washington. It was like, yo, get me out of here. I deserve that. Washington got him because Russ wasn't even in a thought, right? Well, you had the talks going on about Buddy Hield. And when that came about and Russ saw an open window to where he could possibly get in there, talk to LeBron also, Pelinka had that shit happen. So, yeah, man, Pelinka's the problem.
A lot of problems there. Listen to this. 5,888 tickets in. 78% of the tickets on the Lakers. 99% of the cash. And this number has not moved. It's moved 6 cents from the opener. But in saying that, at first, the first move was towards the Pacers. At first, it went down to 4.5 after 7 minutes. It was 4.5 there for almost an hour. Then it goes back to 5. It gets to 5 at -107. Then all of a sudden, it's 5 at +100, 5 at +102. I mean, it just makes it very, 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 very hot.
Yeah.
And Josh was right. Joshua Chipman says Book's begging you to take the Lakers. Yeah.
Could be. I mean, early money came in, but yeah, that's everything is weird about this game.
let's review all action. And what a great job you have done, Daryl, our guy here, breaking down a 13-game NBA card. Let's roll and go over all the NBA action. Nothing for us in Magic, Sixers, or Nets, Wizards. Daryl starts his card with Minnesota first quarter plus a half at minus 105. Then he moves on the Hornets plus 3.5 at minus 115. And I have some interest in this under. I have some interest in this under, but I'm going to study it more and not move on. Daryl's on the Heat minus 9.5, minus 110, and that's his I don't give a fuck. Oh, I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play of the day. The I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play of the day. Heat minus 9.5 and minus 110. Then Cavaliers Bulls, fishy situation here, which we've stayed off. Daryl's on the over 228.5 at minus 114 in Memphis Grizzlies, Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm going to roll with THC as RZA here, and I'm going to go after this. Now, in saying that, I am going to cut a little bit off my unit size. I would prefer to bet $100 on each of these three bets. So I'm not too heavily invested. So that's going to be my plan. That's Bucks first quarter, Bucks first half, Bucks first half team total over. I think they're going to come out firing. Ron Crawford's on Memphis Grizzlies spreadsheet play today at plus 6.5. Daryl going back to the Siakam over 5.5 assists prop. He gave it to us on Friday and it missed. And then the next game, Siakam goes for a triple double and has 10 assists. So he's going back to the over 5.5 assists, getting plus money at that at plus 105. Then we are both on the Spurs first quarter at minus 2. Daryl got a slightly better line than me. He got minus 111. I bet at minus 115. I got the first half minus 4 at minus 110 as well. Then I doubled up on the first half over, full game over in the Rockets Jazz when it dropped to 230.5. I got the first half at 118.5. I'm going after it. I don't care that Donovan Mitchell's not there. In fact, I'm happy that he's not there. And you know what? I don't like watching Rudy Gay play ball anymore either. So get them both off. Clippers, Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, we're not watching that game.
It was the I don't give a fucking shit. Period.
Yeah, I don't give a fucking shit about that game.
And that followed up with the Pistons Kings.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I'd keep it to one, but yeah. Okay.
Pacers Lakers, very, very strange. All this money coming in off the Lakers, and they're still begging you for Lakers money. Very strange.
What? So you said because I played it earlier at 228, but on the show this is at Memphis and Milwaukee's over 228.5. That's okay?
Yeah,
I just want to write this down.
I know it's trickier for you guys, but that's one thing that we stand by is just not giving out the stale numbers unless you tweet them out. Feel free anytime that you're doing a show here with us, with me, that you can tweet out. You can tweet out the night before. You can tweet out the night before. Anytime you want to do that. I'm going to pop Daryl's Twitter handle here in the chat. Follow our guy, Daryl. Support our guy here. It's in the chat right now. Give him a follow and the love that he so richly deserves. Jacksonville Zoe says Rudy Gay 50 years old now. Look, I respect that side of it. He's still rolling at that age. He's still rolling. That's about it though for me. And he's a good guy. Like everybody says real good things about him. And Joshua Tripman says, statistically speaking, Lakers are trash.
Hey. We don't need all that shit going on. All right. Don't kick us while we're down. What the fuck is going on?
Jeez, when else should we kick you guys, man? You're fucking purple and gold, man. You guys, it's a treat to hear people stomp on the Lakers. Personally, but I used to be a big LeBron fan until he just made it all about him.
Yeah,
I have no problem with him doing everything he does about social movements and all that stuff. I love that. The NBA is very lucky to have LeBron. The last couple of years, it's all on my shoulders. It's just me. And that's not what a leader does. A leader talks about the players on the team working together and stuff like that. But I just don't like him nearly as much.
On the bitch.
Oh, no. What? No.
Jose be wildin', bro. Jose be wildin', man. I'm telling you right now.
He's been struggling with the breaking news button.
Yeah, man.
Daryl, spectacular work, man. Thank you so much for rolling with us. We'll have you back in action on Friday. What a giant card to attack today. Great work. Any last words for these cappers supporting the show?
Hey, man. Appreciate you all, man. Jimmy, as always, I'm going to always leave the show just saying I'm grateful for this opportunity. Right or wrong, indifferent. I just appreciate it. I appreciate this platform. So it's my job to have a growth mindset, and I always try to get better. So I hope, man, that y'all have a good day today. A lot of picks here, a lot of games. I hope that we can win some money. And as always, man, I will see you again. I appreciate you.
There he is. It's Durrell in the house. Jacksonville Zoe saying Durrell and Jimmy would be a good comedy act. I told this joke yesterday. It got real big laughs. And my friend Sean Lacombe, Edmonton, Alberta, wrote it. Well, we were just starting. He has not used this joke in like 15 years. We were just starting out. We were 20 years old, 22 years old. But he said, this is the joke. He was, they asked me, who would you have sex with? Which superstar do you want to have sex with, alive or dead? And to that, my answer would be Ariana Grande and dead. All right, let's review all action here. We have in NHL, all I moved was on the Rangers. Rangers at plus 135. I'd be curious to see what it is right now. Rangers at plus 135. Now plus 130. I could have got it at plus 140 if I was a little earlier. So that is NHL. That's the only spot for me in NHL. In NBA, we just went over everything. In college basketball, we have Max on 3, or I think it might be 4 spots, actually. We have Max on 4 spots. We have a Wake Forest first half -1 at -103. Pittsburgh, Virginia over first half over 53 at -103. Navy -10.5 at -114. And Loyola, Maryland +1.5 at -104. Don't forget, we have the big NFL show tonight. Big Ragu is dealing with COVID right now. We think about him. We send him so much love. He's coming off a 9-1 NFL pub hub. A 9-1 NFL pub hub. Joseph Gomez says it's a high-pitched voice. I thought Jimmy liked the screamers. Love you guys. There's Jacksonville Zoe saying, great show tonight. See you tonight on NFL Pub Hub. Looking forward to it. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for your support. Let's have ourselves a big day. 4-4, down 0.11 units. Not acceptable. Let's get back in the black here, and we'll do it with the Rangers in NHL. And I'm going to add 3 spots with THC's Rizza on the Bucks game. But other than that, I'm on Spurs first quarter, first half, and the first half and full game overs in the Rockets Jazz. Let's go. There's Jacob Lazinski, little Ixnizzle in the house. Marco Lou, Alexi Hirsch, Willie DeLump, Jay Peasy, Jacksonville Zoe, Joseph Gomez, Joshua Chipman. There's my guy THC's Rizza. Let's get that cash, my man. Let's get that paper. Brad Hunt, Danny A, Astute Chaos, Joseph Gomez, Nut Flush Allen. What a great group. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Let's get after it. Leche. Hey, Los Bookmakers.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.